HasanAbi Corporate. I don't even know what that is. Matt Owens is the showrunner for One Piece, live action, and also Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right?
Spent a lot of time at Marvel in the beginning of my career. Luke Cage, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Luke Cage, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and now the latest show. But we're not going to be talking about that, obviously, because we're not promoting Struck Work. No. But we will be talking about anime in general, One Piece in general as well, and his fandom surrounding One Piece. But before I do that, let me just fix this real quick. I saw your earlier messages that you sent me on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
From like months ago, just when I added you on my Instagram story.
Because I swear I saw you walking.
I don't think it was me.
I swear it was.
I think it was a lookalike.
I'm gonna keep talking about this while you're fixing this because I want to say thank you for having me on, and also thank you for all your support for strikes. We're almost 4 months in writer's strike, and it's been a lot. You know, we're out here, we're fighting for the future of our industry, for those coming after people like myself, our livelihoods. So, thank you to all of you who have supported strikes like Hasan has. I've seen you out there. It means a lot. And, we want to get back to work and to be able to live just as much as you all want to get back to us making content. So, because we are strike friendly, we're not going to be promoting anything. We're not going to be talking about anything we're not supposed to.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. Yeah,
we're not going to do it. But if you guys want some scab interviews, there's a different co-showrunner I can point you to. But we're not going to be doing that today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're not going to be doing that today.
Yeah. Okay. But I will be asking you questions about One Piece in general and like anime in general, which I think is fine, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Let me blast off real quick to promote that you're here.
What's been going on, Chad? How's everybody doing today? How's your Wednesday afternoons or wherever you might be? Good. Seeing a lot of goods. That's great. Love to see it. I see a meh. That's relatable. I feel you. Sick but good. Hope you feel better.
We have a little meme that we made as well of you and I.
Oh no.
And even Kaya in One Piece. Here it is. They made you Sanji.
They made me Sanji. That's my boy. Look, early Straw Hats. Strangely was the first character that I fell in love with.
Really?
Baratie arc was the arc that sold me.
I think it was the strongest arc out of all the early arcs. That's when it started, I think, shifting for me as well, when I was like, oh, this is like actually good. Because there is that classic, like, does this get better? I know that like a lot of One Piece loyalists are gonna be like, that's not true, every arc is incredible. But like for me, I can be definitely more honest than you, I would say. And Arlong Park was a little bit long, but it was pretty good. But Baratie was, I think, where I definitely started enjoying it more.
It's that characterization of Sanji, like coming into that and seeing, okay, this is a guy who takes cooking so seriously, and that is what his entire life's purpose is. So he doesn't use his hands to fight because he needs his hands to cook. I was like, this is something different.
And to smoke, and to blast cigs, which is very cool.
Ripping cigs.
Ripping bogues. Except, I guess in the 4Kids version, he was sucking on a lollipop.
Man, they did Sanji the most dirty. There was a lot of missteps in the 4Kids, but they gutted my man.
So, what is it? Sanji meets Nami in the 4K dub?
Now I know how Kobe felt. He must have been miserable.
Sure, boy.
Ah, you guys here?
So, you gotta work here for a year.
Should we change our flight?
Chad, this is how we used to see back then.
This is all we had.
Yeah, it just looked like this. This is a 1P, okay? All right. Please don't spoil 1000 plus. No, I can't spoil. He can, but I can't spoil. As you guys know, I am at the Punk Hazard arc. So
right. Yep.
So I have only I'm only on my second arc post time skip. So we have a tier list here that someone in the community made.
Oh, nice.
To talk about the major characters and warlords, and I also wanted to engage in a tier list of like all of the best arcs, one by one, pre-time skip.
Okay, so you're just trying to get your chat mad at me for having opinions.
Yes,
great.
Well,
great.
Actually,
Understood.
A lot of people So I have a very interesting community where like I, for the longest time, refused to watch One Piece and said I would not do it. I just, it's too long, and all the One Piece like fandom was very annoying about like pushing me into watching it, and I was just like, you guys, I don't want to watch. It's too much. There were people in here that were trying to get me to watch for 3 whole years, and I was resistant. And then one day I was just like, fuck it, why not bite the bullet? I'm in a content black hole. I'm going to watch it. Yeah. And then it was a very feel good. It made me, it was very wholesome, and it was good. And I got hooked into it, and I burned through just like all the episodes, especially started cooking after like the first couple of arcs. I do think that to this day, the one where they meet Usopp for the first time, what is it called? The Meow? No.
Syrup Village?
Syrup Village is probably my least favorite arc.
That seems to be the general consensus, especially for like the East Blue saga. Most people don't love Syrup Village. I like it. I like Kuro. I think he's a very interesting villain, but tier listing ahead of our tier listing, I'd probably have to say that Syrup Village is my least favorite East Blue arc.
Okay, let's look at the One Piece story arcs from here, maybe. This could be helpful. Hold on. Guide all One Piece arcs in order. This is good, I think. All right, East Blue arc. So it starts off with Romance Dawn arc. Do you have the One Piece arc rankings? Okay, but this is like newer ones too in it probably. Whatever. Okay, this is also way too many designations in my opinion, but whatever. We can do this. I think we can do it. I mean,
to be honest, there aren't that many. The post time skip, the arcs are so large. Yeah, there aren't that many arcs you haven't gotten to yet.
Yeah, I heard Dressrosa, Wano, and I assume, what is it, Candy Island or whatever?
Whole Cake Island.
Whole Cake Island, yeah.
I'm very excited for you to get to Dressrosa. I think you are going to find a lot of interesting things to talk about in that arc.
Yeah. Well, so one thing that happened, at least in this community, was that when I did finally start watching One Piece, I realized that unlike some of the anime that I enjoy, unlike other shonens that I enjoy, for example, it was very political. Mm-hmm. Like there were a lot of political themes baked in to all of these like long and well thought out story sequences that actually spanned across multiple, not just multiple episodes, but multiple arcs in general. Mm-hmm. And I came to this conclusion. One of the things that I said originally was, one of the things that I immediately noticed was that Luffy was just beating cops. I mean, he was just beating the shit out of the Navy, which is the police in this one world government, right? And I noticed that he was a bit of a terrorist. He was a freedom fighter. Now, some of these takes I demonstrated and defended quite adequately, I think, on the Trash Taste podcast.
I'm familiar.
Yeah, and it kind of kickstarted a bit of a war in the One Piece fandom, it seems, where a lot of people were like, I guess, completely oblivious to the undertones or the political overtones in many of the stories, and we're just like, no, One Piece is about like a gum boy having fun, and not about what you say it is.
It's both.
It is both.
It is such an inherently, the entire world, especially the further that we get into it, we're living in a police state. The world government controls the newspaper, they control the military, everything. It is a police state world. So what your take is interesting, because does Luffy destabilize multiple governments and kingdoms throughout this series? Absolutely.
Yeah.
The terrorism angle is interesting because that comes into an ideological thing, right? And Luffy doesn't really have an ideology outside of everyone should be able to be free to do what they want.
But that is an ideology.
It is.
Do I think it's like inherently socialist? No. I do like pissing off people by saying that, but no, I do think that is in and of itself ideology. Here's a TikTok from Trash Taste of your hot take. Let's take a look. Luffy is a terrorist. He is. He is.
I hate that. You're kind of right.
He is a freedom fighter in the most like honorable sense of the word. Quite literally fighting against an unjustifiable, corrupt military apparatus that is like holding the entire world hostage and the Navy. He's literally killing cops. Like he's killing sea cops and they're like, no, that's not politics. What do you mean? That's just like gum man having fun. So that was the take that kickstarted a lot of this stuff. But I meant like I meant that it was wait, what is? Oh, this is a different video. I was like, what the hell are these
What
comments?
are these comments?
Positive cantle tilt? Like, what the? What? God, TikTok is
Luffy is a
so
terrorist.
It's like Joey said, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
And that's the crazy thing. It is that people don't see that this has been an inherently political series from the beginning. Because even like we were talking about Arlong Park, the Fishman story is such an allegory for slavery.
Yeah. I mean, it is. It's directly an allegory for slavery, which unfolds even further in the Fishman Island arc, as you pointed to. But even before then, it's like Arlong Park so early on, and this is something that I think Oda does really well, which is like introduce characters and stories that expand dramatically later down the line when it's like 700 episodes deep and you're like, holy this happened on the 3rd episode and now like this is really, really relevant.
Right, because like Fishman Island does such a good job of not only continuing that story, but giving so much more context about things before. Like finding that Arlong's idea to build Arlong Park in the first place was birthed out of him and his friends not being able to get into Sabati Park when they were children, which is a direct thing. It's like whites only pools. Like that's where that came from. So he built his own. And that additional context is, you're right, it's something that Oda does so well.
Yeah. And those are very real world political themes and is born out of like violence that has happened in the real world and throughout history. And I think that he's probably I would say more of a fan of American history than like people think he is, or at least like political themes. I'm not saying he's like a card carrying Japanese Communist Party member or something,
right?
Like the guy who created Gundam, but you know, one thing that also jumped out for me was, and I can't speak on like later, like the later arcs, like Wano specifically, but there is a Wano character in the arc that I'm watching right now, Punk Hazard, the samurai that's like cut into multiple pieces by Trafalgar Law. Yeah, and his behavior, and his, I think the way he operates, the way he talks, and even the way Zoro is, who is a canonically Japanese character, I think reveal a lot about the way Oda views Japanese culture and maybe its setbacks as well. Because I think there's like rigidity in both of those characters and like an appeal to tradition. And I feel like that paired up with, for example, all the non-binary and trans characters that are in like very important roles that Oda wrote 20 years ago. Like I've talked about this a lot, but like Bon and what was it, Ivankov?
Yeah.
Ivankov, like these are two gender non-conforming or trans characters that were written in a positive way at a time when I myself as a young boy exhibited way more transphobia than than
positive
I do now. Yeah. It's very interesting. Like I feel like he's very he's a very open-minded guy, very progressive in many ways.
He is. I think Oda is just, Oda's a communist. Seen that one before too. I think Oda is a very observant and intelligent person. We've had so many deep conversations about all kinds of things before.
That's so cool.
I love that man to death. He is my brother and my father and my best friend. I just had dinner with him on Tuesday.
That's insane. That's an insane flex. I know. I heard he was here. He was
in town for some stuff.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I just had dinner with him on Tuesday. But it's interesting because
what does he smell? What does he smell like?
They can be gleaned. What does he smell like?
Does he smell good? No, I'm kidding. You know,
he smells like Oda. He smells like Oda.
Okay.
But I think he is such an observant person about his surroundings in general, from entertainment, because he talks about all of the things that he takes in and the things that he puts into One Piece. And so I think there's a lot that the audience has to draw from across a spectrum of interest or beliefs. But like you said, it is the fact Bon Clay, this is a character that was prominent in the manga in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
That kind of major representation just didn't exist in media in that way at that time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually quite interesting that from what I understand, I haven't gotten to these arcs yet, but apparently there's like some controversy now about like whether or not a particular character is trans.
The Yamato controversy.
Yeah,
Yes.
which is really interesting because like people are transphobic for a newer character now, not realizing that like if they watched the older the episodes, like there are very openly trans characters, including obviously Ivankov, who has a fucking HRT fruit, basically. Like that's what they're doing. Like they're literally transifying people. So it's really interesting to get upset about a newer character now. And not like realize that you had no issues of the older characters that are, openly trans.
Right.
So, that's I find that really interesting. That says more, I think, about the way people are geared towards getting angry on what's in front of their noses than Oda himself, obviously, but still, it's something to consider. So. What else was I going to say? All right, so without further ado, let's get some of these arcs, I think. Obviously, wait, hold on. I'm going to pull up like the story arcs on here so I can gather my thoughts. But under the East Blue Saga, you have Romance Dawn, first arc. Not exactly super strong, in my opinion. I want to hear what your take is on that. Like, is it one of your favorites?
It's not. The flashback, obviously, is very important. But I think one of the things that makes it so great is the more that we continue to go back and get additional context for it. So in the beginning, it's cool. It sets some stuff up, but Alvida's not the best. I prefer the Shellstown stuff. Like when we get to Morgan and Helmeppo and Zoro, that's when it really kicks off for me.
Yeah. Okay. What would you say? I mean, there's far too many.
Yeah, this is a lot.
This is these nerds, man. They go crazy with it. How do you delete these? I don't even know. I mean, we can just
we just do S A B C D?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. Like A plus. Like, what are we doing? Like, why is there a D plus ranking? You know what I mean? There should never be a D plus ranking.
I want to see someone get really into the weeds
like
and use this previous
it's
metric.
Just like insane. Here, I'll put an F in there too, just for funsies, but of course none of them will ever constitute a F.
Nothing is an F.
Okay.
I'll be excited when we get to what I think is my least favorite arc of the series, because you have seen it.
Okay.
But we'll get there. So Romance Dawn, for me, I think it's a B.
It's a B tier. Okay.
I think it's a B.
All right. So I think the earlier, there's a shorter one. Okay, this is a little bit better, but it's harder to read, chat.
A little bit.
Yeah, this is easier to read. Let's just go with this one. Okay, so Romance Dawn B, I think that's solid. I would put that. I would put that there. Okay, Orange Town, Syrup Village. I mean, some of these are so old, I don't even fully remember. Let me look at the story arc real quick. Orange Town is...
That's Buggy's introduction. That's Choo Choo, the dog, protecting the pet shop.
I remember now, yes. I did not like Orange Town.
Really?
Okay, so I'll say this much. I don't like Buggy.
You don't like Oda's favorite character?
Yes, I've heard that that's Oda's favorite character. I intensely dislike Buggy.
Look at all the Buggies in the chat that you're
getting
off of this.
Yeah, they have it in there for that reason. They, bugging.
Don't like Buggy.
I don't like Buggy.
Okay, I'm trying to remember where you are right now, what the latest Buggy
I mean, he gets a little bit more jacked. He gets like longer hair in the prison.
Yeah, Impel Down Buggy is phenomenal.
Even then, it was like he was all right. He gets like a little bit stronger, which is fine, but he still annoys me. And then obviously you got the war, and he's still. I don't know why I hate like very cowardly characters.
So do you not like Usopp?
Oh my god, yes, I don't like Usopp. Usopp is my least favorite. Zoro is my favorite character.
Okay. All right.
It's Ace, And then
you're an Ace stan.
I love Ace and I love Zorro.
Wait, should we do that first? Because I think that'll give us a lot of context.
Should we?
Who
Yeah,
is
we
your
could do
favorite
that.
Character, and who is your favorite Straw Hat? Because I feel like those are two totally different things.
Oh, favorite character overall?
Yes.
Yeah, actually, I don't know. Oh, that's a good one. Okay. There's so many good characters. That's so hard to pick one. There are way too many good characters in One Piece. It's just too big of a work.
But you don't come with your favorites like in the chamber at any minute?
Well, in the chamber is definitely Ace and Zorro are my two favorite. My favorite Straw Hat would be Zorro, and my favorite character is Ace, I think.
Respectable. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I do like Soja King. It was a very different character, obviously.
Yes,
Like,
we've never seen him again ever.
Yeah.
He
was really cool.
My favorite overall character is Law.
Oh, is Law?
I love Law. My boy.
Law's my third. I would
the-
say he's my third favorite.
He is the best. And my favorite Straw Hat is, I had to represent today. It's Nico Robin.
Fair.
It's Nico Robin.
Okay, I have one controversial take about Nico Robin.
About Robin. Okay.
Yeah, okay. I have a lot of controversial takes, but specifically one about Nico Robin. As far as I understand, I didn't read the manga. I only watched the anime up until the time skip.
Yep.
I think pre-time skip anime Nico Robin is the best Nico Robin version out there.
I fully agree with you.
And I think that post-time skip Nico Robin, I don't like as much, both personality-wise and also because they changed her hair. And from what I understand, in the manga, and maybe I'm wrong, but in the manga, Nico Robin looks more like post-time skip Nico Robin from the jump. But I think the best form that Nico Robin has ever been is, what was it, All Sunday?
Oh, yeah. Alabasta Miss All Sunday version Robin is peak.
There is no, that is like best of best girl.
Yep.
Across the board, like across different animes, I think that Miss All Sunday is the most goated character. One of the best.
Totally agree.
Misogynistic take? Wait, what?
Why? What?
It's the exact opposite of misogynistic if you know what you're talking about. It's literally her pre-time skip version is unironically, I would say, less rotund.
Because it's also not even just about looks. It's like when you meet her and knowing her backstory, that she's an incredibly feared person. She's an incredibly, in the eyes of the world government, very dangerous person.
Yeah.
You feel that. Miss All Sunday is an assassin. And when she joins the Straw Hats, she loses a little bit of that mystery, a little bit of that edge. And I think that's something that made her really interesting.
Yeah, I think so too. And her backstory is so solid. Like, that's one thing that, a lot of not intellectual people will look at One Piece and go, wow, look at how big the breasts are. And say, wow, Oda, what are you doing? Why did you draw them like this? Are you a misogynist? But the real intellectuals understand that the backstories for these female characters absolutely pass the Bechdel test, first of all, which is, again, incredibly unique, considering that, like, Nabi's backstory, for example, is featured early on. It's one of the more powerful arcs early on, if not one of the best arcs early on.
One of the ones that most people cite as, like, this is the moment I fell in love with One Piece.
Yeah, which is like, it's unimaginable for a story that is supposed to center Gum Kid. You know what I mean? It's like you have these really good characters with really powerful backstories that you can't be misogynistic and do that at the same time. Like, you wouldn't factor that in. You wouldn't make like such great powerful stories for your female characters.
I'd seen a couple people asking, if you don't know, the Bechdel test is something in media studies where it's a test for, does any piece of media have a scene with two female characters when they are not talking about a man or relationships? And you might go, why is that a thing? But you would be very surprised how few pieces of media pass this test.
Yeah, like the Zapruder film doesn't pass the Bechdel test. That's a JFK assassination joke. Sorry, I had to sneak that in there. Okay,
On brand.
it originated from a comic. Yeah, Oppenheimer doesn't. That makes sense. Yeah, The Bechdel test was created as a joke in a comic strip. It's crazy how it's become a standard. It's such a low bar. Yeah, well, it works.
Yeah.
So, in any case,
So we're gonna disagree about Orangetown. Are we taking averages to put on?
no.
tier
We'll
list
just use
then?
yours. We'll just use yours because
I think-
I never shut the f- up about my opinions on the matter, and your opinions are what matters here. I think.
Then
A little bit
Orangetown
more.
is an A.
So Orangetown is an
Orangetown is an
A. Okay, so you love Buggy, huh?
I do. I love Buggy, and again, that Shoo Shoo story is so great, and it's Nami's real introduction in the story, and you're getting both this mysterious girl who is obviously playing Luffy, but she has that wonderful moment of, as much as she's trying to fuck these guys over, she's still a good person, and when she goes to quash the fuse for the Buggy Ball going to attack Luffy, it's like that's that first hint that, okay, maybe there's more to her. She's not a bad person. She's not just going to let these guys die in this situation.
True.
So I like Orangetown.
Okay, as A tier. I disagree just only because I just can't stand Buggy. I don't know. I just don't like clowns. I think maybe that's what it is.
Okay, we're getting to the deeper parts of this.
It could be. That could be part of the reason. Imagine if Buggy was in the crew instead of Usopp. The show would be so much better. I don't think so. I like Usopp more than I like Buggy, but maybe it's because I don't like Buggy.
The dynamics are different. You would lose. Come on, you really want to give up the Luffy versus Usopp?
Yeah,
The whole
that's
conflict in Water 7?
That's a really
That's not
good,
worth it.
That's a really powerful part of it for sure.
It's not worth it.
Okay. Moving on from Orangetown, we got Syrup Village arc, which is, in my opinion, D tier. It is it was hard. It was a hard watch for me.
I would agree. I think Syrup Village is D tier. I think there are good things to it. Again, I think Kuro is an interesting character, and his whole point against Luffy, of like, Kuro is someone who gave up. He's someone who gave up on the dream, and that doesn't sit right with Luffy. He's taking a different tactic, and he's trying to get out of the game. I like Usopp's relationship with his crew, with the kids. That's sweet. That's good. But there's not, most of the fights don't really do it for me.
Yeah.
In Syrup Village also.
Yeah, definitely. Like hypnotic guy, hypnosis guy. Like that's like I mean, he gets relegated to being like a side character later on. And like for, comic relief, that's fine. But if that's one of your captains, I feel like it's not strong enough to be a captain in and of itself, maybe. I don't know. All right, so Syrup Village, what's your final take on
I
it?
think it's a D tier.
Okay. All right, so we do agree. Okay. All right, moving on from Syrup Village, we finally get to Baratie, where Sanji is introduced. Also, another incredibly powerful character, in my opinion. Love Sanji. He's great.
Love our boy.
There is definitely moments like later down, for example, like where there was a lot of filler in the anime side.
Yeah.
Where
Wait, are you doing filler and you're watching?
No.
Okay.
But fillers I could skip early on, pre-time skip.
Yeah.
But then post-time skip, fillers become a part of the episodes because they don't actually make filler episodes. They just put in like a lot of unnecessary reactions from like civilians and shit like that.
It's a lot of padding.
Or there's a lot of padding to keep up with the manga, I think.
Yeah.
For Baratie, rather for Sanji, Sanji's great, but I think that he gets really annoying in the Fishman Island arc, where he's like the entire subplot of him like dying due to being
we'll get there.
so painfully horny. Okay,
We'll get there. But for now, it's God tier. Baratie is an S tier.
okay, wow, okay,
It's an S-
powerful.
it's an
First
S-tier
S tier. Okay, first S
That's
tier.
the first S tier arc.
Okay.
Absolutely.
My dad in his bathing suit. Sorry, he's just chilling. Okay. Oh, Mihawk, incredible.
I mean,
Also.
Mihawk's the dude.
Also sick. Yeah.
In all of the great One Piece, this character versus this character, I'm a diehard Mihawk over Shanks.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Over Shanks.
Always.
That's interesting. I can see it, but I haven't seen a lot. I haven't seen enough of Shanks yet.
Yet no one has.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. All
That's
right.
part of it. That's why it's crazy that a lot of people out here, like, yes, we know Shanks is one of the Yonko. Shanks, was on Roger's crew. There's a lot of great stuff
Yeah, so was
that
Buggy.
people say about him. Yeah, exactly.
So was Buggy.
Okay,
Boo.
then we fall on opposite ends of that one. Then.
Yeah.
But I'm a Mihawk through because it's his design, it's his demeanor. He's one of my favorite characters. I love Mihawk.
Yeah.
And especially
no,
with
great.
recent developments in the manga.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen like the
Yeah,
later
no
stuff
spoilers for you, but Mihawk is goated.
yet. Yeah. When Mihawk first appears and like slices through a ship, and that's actually one of the great parts about this anime as well, has been like, or the manga too, like where the power scaling is so well done.
Yeah.
Where you're like you are in you're in East Blue. You think that the world is like this, maybe there's this like terrifying larger world beyond the waterfall mountain thing, right? What is it called?
Reverse
like,
Mountain?
Not the red line. What is it called? The other
Reverse
I can't
Mountain?
remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're like worried beyond you're worried about what's to come beyond the Grand Line. These guys are coming out of the Grand Line and they're like devastated. They're like fucking PTSD. They got PTSD. They're like scared. They're and you're terrified of what's to come. And then this dude comes in with his like little dinghy with his fat fucking cross sword on his back and just slices through a ship, and you're like, how? Like, there is so much power out there. These guys are gonna get cooked.
Yeah. That's really where the world opens up
Yeah.
for the first time.
I think it's one of the greatest intros when you're like, what the this
Yeah.
dude, and then Zoro thinks he can like put up a fight against them, and it's just like not happening. There's no shot. It was sick. Okay, so that would be Baratie S+ tier. I think there's a lot of great introductions in there.
Yep.
So I agree with that. I think Baratie is one of the stronger arcs that really solidifies it. And then we move on to Arlong Park, which I think is pretty good. I think that's like what most of the fandom says is like the arc that they really got invested in.
Yeah, Arlong's a great villain. It gives us the help me scene. One of the things that I like about it also is it feels like such a culmination of a lot of our characters' arcs across East Blue. Usopp has a one-on-one fight on his own for the first time. Big deal. Mihawk just beat the shit out of Zoro. He's got one sword left, and he's got to fight an octopus fishman with 6 swords. Like, there's so much against our heroes in this arc that I think Arlong Park is also S tier.
Okay, fair. I would put it lower than Baratie. I'd maybe put it on A tier, but I get it.
Okay.
I think it's a respectable opinion. Arlong Park being S tier is a good take. What is this? Arlong Park TikTok?
Oh no.
What is this?
Skip. But when does this game get fucking good?
That's pretty good.
Funny.
That's pretty good.
It's a good meme. It's fair. Okay. After Arlong Park, we have Reverse Mountain arc. It's like
No, we got Loguetown.
we get into
We got Loguetown.
Oh yeah, you're right. Loguetown. Loguetown. What happens in Loguetown? I don't know.
It's where Buggy and Alvita come back, so you probably skipped it in your head because Buggy's back. And
It was a place where
we meet Smoker.
Oh yeah, no.
Dragon.
Loguetown is awesome. No, I think Loguetown is great. Even though Buggy's annoying, you have Smoker and Dragon.
Yep.
So I think Loguetown in and of itself for those two introductions is A tier. Smoker is so sick.
I love Smoker, and I
Yeah.
think he only continues to get better. I think he is one of the characters I want to see more of the most where we currently are in the series. I think it's really great. There's a lot of fun stuff to it, but I'm going to put it in A tier.
You can put it in A tier.
I think it's
Okay.
really good, and it
I think there's
introduces
so
some
much.
great
I think there's so
stuff.
much in such a small sliver of content. It's like jam packed.
It is. It's short. It's what, 5 chapters,
Yeah.
I think. And again, Smoker is great, but I think Smoker gets better the more that we see him versus just his introduction in Loguetown. And kind of the same with Dragon. Like, it's cool that this guy comes
you
out of
have no
nowhere
idea
and like, saves Luke, but you don't know. It means more when you learn stuff later.
That's the craziest part is that, yeah, exactly. Like, you have no idea what the happened. Like, it's almost like an afterthought. This, like, really powerful sequence where the fucking skies open up and there's, like, thunderstorms. And all of a sudden, Luffy is saved magically. And you're like, what the just happened at the end of this goddamn arc?
Yeah.
And then never again do they ever mention it. For like 200, 300 episodes, they never even briefly go back to that until, like, I guess later, I think it's when Granddad shows up and...
Yeah, that's when you learn that was Luffy's dad.
Yeah, it's like, it's
Enies
wild.
It's like 400 something chapters later.
Yeah, you're like, what the fuck? I mean, that was really cool. Like, that revelation, as someone who was able to avoid, like, most spoilers except for the biggest spoiler of all time, that was
Yeah,
that was I was not able to avoid that spoiler, unfortunately. It's hard to be a Twitch streamer and, like, think that you can get away with, like, not knowing something super significant.
Yeah.
Also, actually, Garnt's wife also spoiled it. I got double spoiled, but it had been spoiled already. But anyway, so okay, Loguetown.
Now we've got
After
Mountain.
Loguetown, we have Reverse Mountain, which is cool.
It's cool. Laboon is cool.
Laboon is great.
Again, some of what makes Laboon great is further context later. It's fun. I would put it in B tier.
Okay, B tier. Where is it? I can't find it. Hold on. Where am I looking at? Oh, Reverse Mountain.
there we go.
Okay, there it is.
It's B tier. It's a nice little jump.
Laboon is the main character of One Piece. Oh, also, chat, I'm going to run the 3-minute ad break now before I forget, because it's the top of the hour. Hold on. You know what to do. Okay. The intro scene with the Doctor is peak comedy. The Doctor is really cool.
Crocus is really funny. Yes, he is. And again, when you learn who he is,
and the
makes
bounty
it
hunters
stronger.
are kind of cool too. I think, like, when you get introduced to them at first, you're like, oh, these guys are, like, you think every time new villains are coming into the fold, and this hasn't stopped for, I would say, even in the newer arcs that I'm in. Anytime a new character comes in, you're like, oh, these guys are, like, kind of powerful. And then you realize, like, oh, no, they're not powerful at all, because there's so much more powerful characters out there. Oh, like, there's always a leveling up that's happening. And I think that it's, like, very well balanced.
Yeah.
And it's done well.
And it's fun because, like, you're meeting these Brokeworks characters for the first time, and you're seeing them, and they have a little bit of finesse to them, a little bit of strength, but realizing that, they're nine rungs down.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay, well, there's a lot better stuff coming, which
like
brings
Miss All
us
Sunday
to
and
Whiskey Pete.
Crocodile. Okay. Next arc is Whiskey Peak, which I am a sucker for bounty hunters and bounty hunter stories. Cowboy
Same.
Bebop is my favorite anime.
Same.
I love that, and I think that was, like, pretty well done. And then beyond that, even inside of it, like, even inside of the arc, there's so many cool characters. That's when you first, like, realize, like, holy shit, there's, like, I don't know if you felt the same way that I did, but I thought, given how terrifying they presented the Grand Line to be, I thought that there weren't going to be civilians living beyond the Grand Line. And that's when you first realize, like, oh, there's, like, actual people that live out here. There's a whole economy.
Yeah.
And at first, when I was watching it, when I was going through it, I was like, damn, like, how do these people live if this is so scary? Like, if this is, an area that, like, the sheer fact of, like, being in the Grand Line can cause you PTSD. Everything is so chaotic. Everything is so erratic. Not erotic, erratic.
Both.
Sometimes erotic. That I thought it was, like, kind of unique and strange that there was, like, people who were, living.
Yeah.
And they had their dials and they were just, like, existing in that space.
And it made sense. It was interesting the idea that Whiskey Peak was a place that welcomed pirates, because it's like, well, if we welcome them and celebrate them, it's less likely that they'll take all of our shit and kill us, which made sense. And it also makes sense when you get the reveal that it's just a ploy for Baroque work.
Yeah.
So I really liked it. And I'm a sucker for bounty hunters. And, you know, we start to get the Vivi turn and the truth of her story here.
Yeah.
And we get like more great Miss All Sunday.
Yeah.
Just her blowing up Egram's ship at the end, which is cool for Miss Sunday. But what I also love about that is the moment where Nami, who 5 seconds ago was like, sure, we'll take your princess back for like $1 billion berry. When that ship explodes, she grabs Vivi and hugs her and turns her away from the explosion and says, we're going to get you home. And that turn, that moment, I think is very, very underrated in like Nami moments. That moment is one of my favorites in Whiskey Peak.
One thing I'll say about Vivi that I also feel about the other princess, mermaid princess in Fishman Island.
Shirahoshi.
I can't stand that they cry so much. Like that's the one aspect of it that I feel like is too much of a trope that I don't personally appreciate, when it's just like every now, and it doesn't happen too much, but I just, crybaby characters frustrate me a little bit.
Yeah. Shirahoshi did it a lot.
Yeah.
The spectrum of our, I feel like Vivi's kind of in the middle. Shirahoshi was much more of a crybaby.
Yeah.
At least Rebecca was also, well, you'll get there.
Okay.
You'll get there. I think Whiskey Peak is
Wimpa Hoshi.
I would put
Weepy
Whiskey
Hoshi.
Peak in A tier. It's very close to being S, and there are some moments and revelations in it that I love, but I don't think it necessarily has the impact and staying power of like a Baratie or an Arlong Park.
Okay. What about when Robin says she wants to live? That is one of the most powerful moments.
Chapter 398, the greatest chapter of One
Yeah, what are you
Piece.
talking about? That's not her being a crybaby at all. How dare you say that about Nico Robin, who is best girl and one of the most powerful pirates? You can dare not disrespect her.
Also, she's not a princess, so it really wasn't on the exact topic.
She's not like a damsel in distress. She's never a damsel in distress.
No, that was her whole point. She walked away. She was like, I don't want anybody else to have to deal with this. I'm not getting the others involved.
She also literally freed a concentration camp. How dare you? Every part of this is wrong. I can't believe you would compare the true princess, Nico Robin, to these false princesses. She's not even a part of a monarchy. She's just an intelligent woman who wanted to be an archaeologist and study things, and then was swept, a victim of circumstance. All things considered, came out as a great person.
Someone said that they disagree that Vivi is a crybaby.
She does have power,
but she does. But that's a lot of her arc. She has to learn what it means to become a leader. There are a lot of lessons learned from Whiskey Peak through Alabasta that she has to go through. So there's a lot of growth and a lot of strength in her, but she does definitely start from a point of weakness.
She falls so much. I remember like that stuck with me, that she would just like literally fall all the time. And I was just like, come on, like you're a bounty hunter. Like you were able to do these things. Like you were still kind of like at first she was like, she's presented as like at least somewhat of a fighter, and then you realize like she can't, she just keeps falling and crying, and it's whatever. It's not as bad as Wimpa Hoshi for sure.
That's one of my only real flaws with the Alabasta saga on the whole, because it's one of the best in the entire series. But for as much growth as Vivi goes through, I wish she was Miss Wednesday. She had to have some battle prowess to get that deep into Baroque works. And as soon as we learn her truth, it just goes away. I really wish that we had Vivi being more physical, being involved in some more fights. And there's a bit of a tag team with Nami against Valentine's Day at Little Garden, but I wish she was an assassin. She was a high up member of a league of assassins, and I wish we got to see a little bit more of that. Yeah.
And even her battling abilities, they just kind of go away unprompted.
Yeah.
Which leads us into the Little Garden arc?
Garden.
Okay. Little Garden arc, Princess Vivi is being taken to Alabasta. The Straw Hats land at Little Garden, which is actually a huge island that's still stuck on the prehistoric era. This part is like, I think it's sick. I mean, I like the Giants, but there's not too much going on. Like, it's not like a very memorable.
It's not. This might be my first controversial take. There's good stuff to Little Garden. I mean, we get the Mr. Prince moment, which is the best part of this arc of Sanji talking to Crocodile on the transponder sale. Amazing. We get the solidification of what Usopp's dream means through his interactions with the Giants, through him learning about Elbaf. All of that is really good stuff. The arc on the whole,
The Giants carried 100%.
is fine. I think Little Garden is a B.
I think, okay, a B?
I think it's a B.
I don't think that's controversial.
I know people love that one.
Oh, really?
I don't. People love Little, because it's very important. Wow. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of C's in here though. Interesting. Damn. I wonder what my first C is gonna be. I don't have anything in there yet.
Okay. Little Garden, you said B.
I think it's a B.
B tier. Okay. I just don't like, for me, I think like villains kind of really change my opinion on an arc.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I realized. Like, if I don't like a villain or if I don't like their laugh, I know that that's going to be controversial for many in the fandom, I think.
Ooh, interesting.
But if I don't like a villain's laugh, like, I can't fucking stand it. And Mr. 3, for the most part, is like this brilliant tactician, but also at the same time, it's just like, I don't know. I felt like he wasn't a super strong villain. There's a lot of cowardly villains in the story. And I don't know, whenever I see like a cowardly villain, I'm like, ugh, I get like a little annoyed. That's part of the reason why I think it wasn't as strong of an arc.
I'd agree with that. I think Mr. 3, when he's kind of relegated to a tertiary character who's still around, through the end of Alabasta, through Impel Down and stuff like that, I like him a lot more. But as the focus of an arc, I agree. He didn't really do it for me.
Yeah. Which then we move on to Drum Island, as Nami is poisoned, catches a fatal illness, and we get into the classic Medicare for All arc that I've talked about before, and I said like it's quite literally about like gatekeeping healthcare. The entire fucking arc revolves around gatekeeping healthcare.
Man literally steals all the doctors from the island and f***s off.
Yeah, which I feel like as a concept, like that's like kind of a cool villain. Like it's like, you know, they're just like traveling the world and like f***ing shit up, and he has like all the doctors with him. But
it's also very weirdly important in a grander scheme because it's the first time we hear about Blackbeard. We get a lot of interesting drops there. It's the first time we hear about Blackbeard because he was the one that attacked the island. It's the first time that we learn about the Will of D because Kureha talks about it at the end of the arc when they're leaving. So there's a lot of good lore stuff to be had. There's also a lot of downtime in this arc.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't think the pacing was all that bad, in my opinion. I mean, I don't want to cloud your judgment on this, but for me, I don't know. Out of the early arcs, like, my other controversial take is, like, Skypiea pacing. Like, it could have definitely been a little bit shorter, but a lot of people say it's, like, a bore, almost, where, I didn't feel that way.
I do not fuck with Skypiea haters. I do not understand it. People that tell others you can skip Skypiea, I cannot wait until we get to the end of the series and we realize that Skypiea pointed the most directly to what the end game of this story is going to be. I cannot wait for that moment.
But you're speculating, though. This is not...
I'm speculating. I know nothing.
That's such a classic One Piece fan thing
I know nothing. Seriously, I think I've said this before.
Because you're saying this is someone who met Oda. That's why I'm saying, like, your words carry a lot of power.
One of the first times that I met him, and I think it was a part of a test, is he was like, do you want to know what the ending is? And I said, absolutely not. Don't tell me anything. And I think that I think he liked that.
I don't know if I could say that.
I don't know anything. I don't know anything. But so to me, Drum Island is an A.
Okay. Drum Island, A, fair. Where is Drum Island? Let's see. Oh, here it is.
I'm sorry, chopper heads out there. Like, I get it. And I love my small reindeer son.
I am not a chopper head.
Really? You don't like him?
Too cute.
No, but okay, early on. No,
Yeah.
he's cute now. Remember, he was drawn to be a monster. But he was weird looking until
Fair.
we got, he was weird looking through Alabasta.
I liked that Chopper. Like, I
Yeah.
liked Monster Chopper.
Yeah.
And I also like, Chopper being able to control that element of himself now. But his story was very sad, though. Like, that's like a very sad. It's a good story.
It is. Yeah, his flashback is great.
Yeah, his backstory is really solid, I think. But yeah, I know a lot of people get mad at this, but I think that Chopper is also a bit of a crybaby.
But that's one of his roles on the crew, right?
Yeah.
He's the youngest. He's still a kid. He's 15 in human years when they meet him.
Yeah.
He's the little brother.
He's a baby. Yeah,
and it makes for
sure.
some interesting things though, because like Chopper and Zorro is a dynamic that I absolutely.
So was it Oda hates mascot characters? He was mad about Chopper, not his original plan.
He has talked about that. The design came down editorially because like you can't sell stuffed animals of Drum Island Chopper. No kid is gonna cuddle with that at night.
Yeah, I think that's a way sicker. But I do think that is a way sicker character than like little baby Chopper.
I agree.
Like,
I agree.
If he just stayed that way, it would be fire. Like, actually, I think the juxtaposition of him like being that like monster while simultaneously having that voice and like kid mentality would have made it better.
Yeah.
I think.
Because then his entire character story is just about appearances. Because he even sounds cute. So
Yeah.
it's really just about how kind of weird he looks.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked that. That was cool. Okay, moving on from Drum Island, we get to Alabasta.
I mean, this is a S tier of an arc if there ever was one.
This is really good.
And again, I like your perspective on this is
Incredible-
really interesting
Incredible.
to me because
What's up?
there's so much political drama to this arc.
Resource management.
Yep.
Like political turmoil. People getting mad at like a government that's trying to do best by its citizens, but like still fall short due to like civil wars happening. There's a lot of good stuff there.
There is. And like we were saying earlier, Smoker comes back, has a wonderful role here. I'm always a big sucker for an arc. I prefer arcs where every Straw Hat really has something to do. And this is a great example because everyone has a fight. And it doesn't always have to be fighting, but everyone has a fight here, and they're all incredible. It's one of the most important early Zorro fights, him learning to cut steel.
Yeah.
Nami's first major one-on-one fight.
My favorite race is Zorro. He's so sick.
Sanji versus Mr. 2, great. We get so much Nico Robin here. We learn her real name here for the first time also. And Crocodile is one of the greatest villains that the
So
series
good.
has ever had.
So fucking sick.
Everything about Alabasta. And it gives us one of the, we talked about Help Me before. I think the next really major, quintessential, iconic moment is the raising of the fists when they leave Alabasta. That sign of silent friendship to Vivi is iconic.
Crocodile, also another point for power scaling where you're like, how are you going to defeat this person? Like, this seems insane.
He was the most insurmountable villain
Yeah.
that Luffy had faced up until this point.
Because like Smoker is a Logia power holder as well, but you don't really think about it in the same way because like you don't get too much of him at that point, and Luffy's saved and it's whatever, right? Whereas like here, all of a sudden you're faced with this battle that you don't know what the outcome is going to look like. Yeah, I know the crocodile theory. Yes.
Yes, Croco Mom theory, of course.
Yeah.
But then at the very end of it, we also get Robin joining, which is an example of something that I love in the anime more than I loved it in the manga, mostly because Robin's voice actress is just so wonderful. But the interplay of humor from some of the characters and danger and suspicion from the others when Robin's like, no, you saved my life. It belongs to you now. Like, this is your fault. I'm coming with you. I love that episode. It's a nice, tiny little bottle episode of people figuring out what they're going to do about this person that says she's coming along with them.
She's so fucking sick. Oh, God. Pre-time skip Nico Robin, one of the greatest.
Bring back the bangs.
Hasan doesn't know. Well, he watches the dub. No, I've watched both the dub and the sub. Chatter, you're wrong. I have done both. I usually end up going in between if I feel like a particular voice actor in the dub version, or if I'm not busy doing other stuff and like because there's too many episodes, I'll go back to the sub, obviously, or if I get annoyed with like one of the voice actors and their laugh or something like that. I don't know why. When they're Japanese and they have weird laughs, it doesn't make me as like frustrated.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, the sub is definitely better than the dub for sure. Even though they're great voice actors in the dub as well. Okay. So move on from
Alabasta S tier.
Yeah,
Easy.
Alabasta S tier. Where's Alabasta?
First one.
Oh, there it is. Then we get to Sky Island, which is like a more reductive version of like the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, or rather Manifest Destiny, or packaged with like a god that just kind of shows up and then never again. Like, I guess he goes to the moon or something in the manga.
Chilling on the moon right now. Yeah.
There is no shot a character like that is not relevant later down.
100%. He's coming back. Everybody.
Jaya. Sorry.
All right. Yes, we have Jaya first. I really like Jaya. It's a shorter one, but it sets up a lot. Obviously, like Blackbeard, Bellamy, all of the fallout from Crocodile's defeat. This Jaya is such a good example. We wouldn't have the Reverie if we didn't have Jaya. Seeing the way that the ramifications of big political happenings in the world are having an effect outside of where the Straw Hats are is very, very important, and is some of the most hyped stuff in the manga the entire time. And Jaya was the first real look at what that's like.
I can't believe I forgot Jaya is a prelude, because like it's so important in setting up everything, like including Skypiea, but it's just like it's great.
Yeah,
it's great overall.
And all of the cricket, the Noland, all of that kind of stuff is wonderful. I think Jaya is an A.
I think that's fair. I guess I was looking at over here. It says Sky Island Saga, so
right,
I'm looking at the entire
saga
arc
versus arc thing. Yeah,
yeah. Now we get to Skypiea. I love it.
I do too. I have no patience for Skypiea haters because
I don't know why people don't like it.
I don't either. I guess I feel like I've seen a lot more of it earlier in One Piece's life, but people just saying this isn't important. It feels like filler. It's standalone. It's not.
It's not.
We get a poneglyph here.
Yeah. I don't think it's a skip at all. I don't know why.
You can't.
It's awesome. There's a lot of politics. Maybe that's why I like it. The only thing that I didn't like early on in the arc is like Wiper and his anger, although justified, can at times it made me feel like it was very like it frustrated me. It was very like there was no way to manage it until all the way at the end. You know what I mean?
It feels like they really had to start him at an extreme to slowly, over the course of it, bring him into the fold and into understanding. Because I like Wiper as things get further along. And my favorite panel in Skypiea, I think, is that big splash page of Gonfall, Wiper, Zoro, and Robin standing ready to take on Enel.
Yeah.
Amazing panel. But yeah, we get Robin's first one-on-one fight as a Straw Hat. We get poneglyphs, which is
so powerful,
incredible.
Yeah.
Chopper's first one-on-one fight, right? Because his Alabasta fight is a 2-on-2. I know I'm harping on fights a lot in some of my analyses, but as much as rich as One Piece is, it's still a battle manga in part of its core.
Yeah.
And that's something that I always really like. But also, Oda does a very good job of, which every piece of media should do, your action scenes,
important
your fight
for Going
scenes,
Merry.
and everything
Important sequence for Going Merry.
Yes, we
which,
learn about the Cloboterman and
dude,
all of that kind of
by
stuff.
the way, Going Merry is like, I think the most emotional I've ever gotten is Going Merry. Like that's in the entire
Enies
manga,
Lobby.
in the entire anime. Going Merry's like send off is probably the saddest moment for me. I don't know why that hit me in that way.
Yep.
Incredible character. Maybe it's because it's like kind of the first time someone dies or something dies. You know what I mean? Because like there's always that. There's no full blown you're never gonna see this character again moment in One Piece up until this moment. Well, not in the arc, but later down the line in Going Merry.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. I think people who skip this are wrong. There's so much richness to it, not even just for things that are coming, but like you said, there's so much interesting looks at politics and religion and worship and stuff like that that's apparent in Skypiea, and it's a great adventure. It's our characters in a completely unknown territory.
I love that. I love that it was like, holy shit, this world is so massive, and then all of a sudden there's a fucking world above. Like I personally love the concept of like having a sea in the clouds. Like I think we take for granted in many instances like a lot of the stuff that Oda is cooking up, because like you just kind of watch it and you're like, oh, this is something new. You don't even like sit back and think like, this is a wild, I don't know, this is a wild thing that he imagined here.
And just the history that he created with the Shandians and everything. I love, that's one of my favorite non-Straw Hat related flashback stories of like Kagura and Noland and their whole conflict and friendship. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Honestly, until we've been talking about it, I was going to say that Skypiea is an A. I'm going to put it in the S tier.
I think so too. I agree. I think it's one of my favorite arcs. There's definitely, I understand why people say it can be shortened. I do.
Sure.
Absolutely. Like it could be shorter, but it's still really good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We move on from Skypiea to the Water 7 saga, which is, I think Water 7 was my favorite.
The best saga of the entire series.
In the pre-time skip especially so far, like definitely I think Water 7 is my favorite.
Yep.
The characters are incredible, the villains are incredible, the turn is sick, like every part of it is so sick. Yep. And you know, it's when you get Garp. It's just so sick. But before we get to Water 7, of course, there is my least favorite arc.
You're a hater. You're a
Long
back fight hater.
Yes, Long Ring, Long Land arc.
All right, well,
my least, I would say, probably down there with Syrup Village.
I'm going to fuck you and a lot of people up because Long Ring, Long Land Road is a S tier arc.
That's crazy.
It is an S tier arc. It is one of the last times we have had crew shenanigans. I love the fact that the stakes are so low. It's just crew shenanigans.
That's why I don't like it.
And I think it's a nice breath of fresh air, especially for everything that we're getting into. You're getting to see so many interesting dynamics. Like, come on, it's some of the, like, Sanji and Zoro shippers, of which I am not, were eating so good because of them having to work together for that particular game. The race is fun. It's goofy, fun crew shenanigans. We don't get that anymore.
You don't get a lot of, you're right, it's like tournament style episodes are like a staple in every manga. And that is the one time when you get that, like, you know, you get all of these powerful characters participating in like fighting athletic competitions. You're kind of selling me on it a little bit. I just thought that maybe because like the stakes were so low that I didn't like it. But there is, of course, the Aokiji introduction, and he is, wow. I can't be the only person who thought this. I thought all three of those admirals, except for Akainu, were black. And then I found out that it's like actual Japanese celebrities that he tailored them off of.
Yeah, they're birthed off classic Japanese or based on classic Japanese actors. I agree with you. At least on Aokiji, I was like,
Aokiji's black.
That's a brother. 100%.
Like
100%.
Like it doesn't make sense that they're like, and then you see the like OG Japanese characters they tailor off. I'm like, holy shit! Like,
yeah.
No, see, there are still people who are like, they aren't black.
Exactly. Aokiji has always read black to me.
100%.
And like, look, even if there are characters that Oda bases off of people that also don't match the race or ethnicity of the actual person.
Yeah.
And so there's always wiggle room for things and how you read things, but I have always considered Aokiji to be black.
Yeah. He also like he has like how do I describe it? He has like a lot of the traits that you sometimes see, and I don't mean like racist tropes of black characters in anime, but like actually decently crafted black characters that you see in animes. Like you have that in him in a lot of ways, like Piccolo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyone that doesn't think Piccolo is black is blind.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, okay, he's like, you know, I'm still not convinced that he's not black. I think he's black.
100%.
Anyway,
But that's also an interesting conversation because I think for, you know, like for people of color in a lot of different animated spaces, especially at the time, we have an affinity for certain characters and read certain characters as people of color because we didn't have them. And so a lot of people you meet, you're like, yeah, Piccolo from DBZ, he was black. Skeeter Valentine from Doug, he was black. Like you have these characters that just kind of make sense. See, yeah, people agree. Skeeter was black 100%. His dad was so angry. He was a black man.
Yeah. You said fishmen are black, but yeah, but that's different. That's like, that's written as like an enslaved people, so that's like that's different. We're talking about like out of the humans in the show. Actually, that is one other thing like that I always found very fascinating about Oda's work is that like it is, I think, the most diverse anime that I've ever watched, like ever.
Do you know the YouTube channel Blank Thoughts?
No.
You should watch some of his videos one day. Great YouTuber that does analyses of people of color in different popular mangas and like how much they have, what their representation is like. Yeah, because someone mentioned it, and he has a great video on Bleach. Because Bleach was also a very diverse series, and especially one of your protagonists, Chad, being half Mexican, and it's not just because, it's a part of his character and like the struggle that he's faced living in Japan. Wonderful channel. You should shout out to Blank Thoughts. You should look him up.
Okay.
Yoruichi, yes, one of the greatest. She black too.
Someone said Jinbei. I don't think Jinbei's black. I think he's like Samoan.
Yeah, he always read as like Pacific Islander of some sort to me.
That's how I see it. I know that like there is canonic like there's the canon nationality. I'm just talking about what I perceive it as.
And it's Indian, right? Is that what Oda said? He's Indian?
Yeah, he's Indian technically.
Which is interesting.
Okay. All right. So so Long Ring, Long Land arc.
S tier. I will not be taking any further questions.
Crazy.
I will not be taking any further questions.
S tier, not even A. You put that up there with Baratie, Arlong, Park, Alabasta, Skypiea. That's wild.
I do, because you also got to think about how much time
wild
in arcs we spend where the crew are apart. So to have an arc where it is the crew is all together, all operating together towards a certain goal, and again, it's fun. It's fun.
Okay. Someone said Jet in Cowboy Bebop.
100%.
I think, yes, I think so too.
100%.
Yeah, exactly.
Jet is black.
Yeah.
Those are some of my favorite conversations.
Which
to have.
is
Be like, what characters do you think?
Which
are
is
other
funny because
ethnicities?
like Cowboy Bebop is another anime where there are black characters and they're not like written in like a weird way usually, which is why it's like odd that Jet is not black, but he is definitely black.
People saying Jet is a black male. Y'all stop that.
Oh God,
We're
that's-
not. We're
no,
stop
no,
it. Stop it.
You
Stop
are
it.
black and male. It's the worst line of
Not
all
doing
time.
this.
Listen.
Never not doing this.
One of the bars. Okay, we're not gonna play the clip. I don't want to give psychic damage to 22,000 of you right now.
No.
Oh God, I play that sometimes when Chad's misbehaving
Really?
to punish them.
Oh,
Okay.
PTSD.
Water 7 arc, instant S
The
tier.
next things are going to be easy. Water 7 and Enies Lobby, both S tiers. Enies Lobby is my favorite arc in the entire series. As I already said, Robin's I Want to Live, my favorite moment of the entire thing. Chapter 398, best chapter of the entire manga. Fights are great. The stakes are amazing. Everyone has powerful fucking moments.
Oh, by the way, the Oda is a communist. It comes from Water 7. This is like because
Wait, play it again.
So I give updates throughout this process while I was watching One Piece. I used to give One Piece updates, and this channel on its own, unprompted. Do you guys have that? By the way, unprompted started making these like really well edited YouTube videos where he would like piece together the things that I was saying about One Piece.
Yeah.
Where is it, HasanAbi or something? Every single day I would give One Piece updates, and he would like put them together and basically turn them into like a serialized work. Oh, here it is. Here, I'll show you. Hoslin Saga. He did one on Villain
There's a
Saga.
lot of these.
Yeah, no. Dude, the first episode he ever made, unprompted, got like 100,000 views on its own. And I was like, what the fuck? This is a part of the broadcast where I tell you a little bit about my personal news, and I'll tell you two things. One, I watched Chainsaw Man last night. It's very good. Two, and I cannot believe, I'm just going to admit this before we blast off because I don't want any of the fucking freaks to hear about it. I watched the first 2 episodes of One Piece last night. It's really well done. That's right. And I don't know if I like it. Okay, I'm not fully sold on it yet. Oh, speaking of One Piece, I went back to it because it's cozy. I've been watching it. That's the only time I will openly admit that. If you ever ask me in the future, I will say I'm lying. I will say you're lying, and I'm not watching One Piece. Okay, listen. So to set the mood here, the reason why I was so resistant is because for years as an anime fan, on my own personal journey as a content creator, I have yelled at weebs.
Yeah.
I was always like, weebs, you're gross. Stop. You're perverts. Stop being weebs. Stop weebing out. And then it became more of a tongue-in-cheek denial where I was like, I'm not a weeb. I'm not a weeb. And then there was a moment where I like openly admitted that I was, and yet I still was very resistant to watching One Piece. And I kept saying like, I'm a weeb, but like, I'm not a One Piece guy. Like, that's different. That's a separate category. Yeah, show all your dolls now. Okay, they're not dolls. They're figurines.
They're collectibles.
Yeah, they're collectible items. Okay. I did Naruto run at Anime Expo and got booed, but that's besides the point because they were captivated by how well I was Naruto running, I think.
Wait, what day were you there? This year?
Yeah.
What day were you there?
I went both I went 2 days. Last year I went as well. I go to Anime Expo. I love Anime Expo.
I do too. Yeah, no. I was there on Saturday this year.
Hell yeah. Remember when he used to yell at us for recommending One Piece? Yeah, exactly. Like that's why that's why it's like this. Hold on. While you watch this, I'm gonna go pee real quick. Watching One Piece and I fell asleep. Where are you in One Piece? I'm like episode 7 or 8, man. Chill. Stop saying use non-anime. Guys, I'm using a fucking television and an Apple TV. I'm 31 fucking years old. I have a Crunchyroll account. I'm not trying to change the way that I consume content.
Fair.
I don't need that right now. Bro, I just asked where the fucking website is where they tell you how I can avoid the fucking filler episode. You can't do that. Do you think you
have
can
to. We
watch
skip
One
filler.
Piece on Crunchyroll or on
Chad, I
Netflix?
know a
You
lot of people
can't
like
do that.
G8, but is it worth it? Is it
I'll
worth
fucking
it?
kill you.
I don't see. I see a lot of no's. Oh, I'm seeing a lot of yeses. I don't
Monkey
know.
D. Luffy.
Okay, that's the most hype eye catcher I've ever seen. I am a manga elitist.
So as I was saying,
I love the anime.
Last night on
I'm taking over the stream now. Chat, I love the anime. Some of the best voice acting ever. Does it have its issues? Yes, it does. But I am a manga elitist. I'm sorry. I am.
the couch, I'm watching One Piece, I fall asleep. Okay, he's fighting. He has defeated. Spoiler alert. You know.
Shut your mouth!
Wake up in your 5
Did you give a spoiler alert for him defeating
I'm in
Buggy?
Arlong Park, and
I
it's
don't
so
know. I mean,
sick.
it's just-
Finally, we're getting into the Grand Line, you know?
Because people are watching
I teared
along
up
with me.
again during the whale saga. We're on our way to Alabasta. We're in Drum Island, okay? I am officially in the Alabasta arc, and it's fire so far.
I love that you've got someone chronicling your journey like this.
Yeah, no, he has downloaded every time I talk about One Piece.
まあ冷たいのね。
相手が海賊だろうがお宝持ってようが関係ねえだろ。
もう少し探求心を持つべきだわ。
もう海軍の追っ手がそこまで来てるぞ。
あら、怖い。
てめえには言ってねえんだよ。
次回ワンピースココヤシ村の魔女アーロンの女幹部海賊王に俺はなる。
Shout out to this guy. That's awesome.
No, he made it like he made all of the episodes. They get progressively
the
better
villain-
with like editing, with like sequences that he adds in, and it's not just like me talking about it. It's great.
All right, this playlist is what I'm going to be watching tonight.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Bring up One Piece. G8 is 100% worth it. Hasan, bring up Roger Base Chat. He's a One Piece YouTuber. This is legitimately such a treat watching all the mentions spliced together like this. Lala, here's hoping you stick with it. I know you were struggling with Fishman Island's pacing, but I promise you it gets better. Oh no, I'm past it. Punk Hazard is actually really good pacing wise too. It's
Love
like
Punk Hazard.
yeah, it's not. People freak me out with the pacing when they were like, you have to swap to one pace, and I get why they said that because like, you know, I know Toei is an institution, but goddamn, dude, they fucking they made Fishman Island into like a trek. Like it took me months to get through it. There are no fillers in One Piece. Okay, man.
In the manga.
In the manga, there aren't.
In the manga, my friend.
So that is why I went and bought the mangas, like
Yeah.
because of Fishman Island. I was like, fuck this, I can't do this. So you haven't seen anything? Dressrosa is abysmal on pacing. I mean, I don't know. I don't trust everybody on that anymore. What do you? Are you
Here's the
watching
thing,
anime?
though. Dressrosa also had pacing issues in the manga, though.
Oh, really?
It did.
All right. Well,
It
it'll be
did.
fine.
It's not bad. No, see, that's where I disagree. Dressrosa is not bad. It does have some pacing issues, though.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's there's another TikTok of me like looking at how much time One Pace saves you, and it's like nuts.
What is it?
One Pace is
Because I know what One Pace is, but I wonder what the timing is.
for Dressrosa, it's like thousands of minutes. Like it's not. Dressrosa is a good start, but holy fuck, the lead up in the final fight is rough. Okay, well, we'll see. I'll figure it out when I get there.
Yeah, we got to talk when you finish it, because I do think for its flaws, you're really going to like it.
Okay. That's because Oda was sick during Dressrosa and got help from the Naruto mangaka. Wait, really? One One Pace comparison? Okay, I don't know this. No, don't show me this stuff. What are you doing? You watch around the equivalent of like 600 episodes in One Pace.
That cannot
No,
be true.
That's not true. Ban that chatter. Spoiler. Okay, whatever. It's fine. We just saw like a brief glimpse. Okay, it's pretty much impossible not to have this thing spoiled online. Okay, so where are we at? We went through.
We're talking about how, we're in the best.
Oh, we were talking about Water 7, which is
the best saga of the entire series.
which was my favorite. I think I like it more than I like even Enies Lobby.
Oh, you like Water 7 better than Eddie's Lobby?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't. Well, I mean, there's just I don't know why. Oh, I was gonna show you this TikTok here.
Oh,
this
right,
is why
right,
I said
right.
Oda is a communist.
Oda is a communist.
You will never convince me otherwise. He is a man who absolutely admires, mythologizes, romanticizes the proletariat. Okay, he has made the most goated proletarian squad. They're so sick. Yeah, Galley Law. They're so sick. This is before I knew. They don't, don't spoil anything for me. I hope it doesn't come out that they were bad or anything. Yeah, I hope it doesn't come out that they were bad or anything. Oh, here. Yeah, I was wrong. Okay, I was wrong. I thought Oda is a man who loves the working class, making the working class look good. Turns out Oda is a communist. What other fucking manga anime writer out there, okay, what other manga is talking about workers and unions being infiltrated by the feds, okay? Nobody's doing it like that. The Snow Island was all about healthcare. Skypiea is straight up about like colonial exploitation, imperialism, indigenous people trying to fight back for their own land. Like, it's good. It's good as fuck. It's good as fuck. I love it.
Keep saying it because there are too many people that don't want to hear that stuff.
Yeah, dude. But 100%. Like, feds infiltrating a workers union. Like, that's crazy. That's like straight up. It's awesome. Oh,
And it was great because even still having,
this is how much time. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was going to say, even having CP9 have infiltrated, they still had such a great representation for workers with Polly because there was such a contingent of people that were like, he's joining the crew. And I love Frankie and I love that story and how it developed.
Yeah.
But there were so many people at that time that were like, oh, that's our shipwright. That's the next crew member. It's Polly.
Yeah. I mean, Frankie's goated though.
I love my Cola
Frankie.
King.
He's American. He
is,
Leave it up to Oda. It also is trains, which I love personally. I love me a good train arc. You know what I mean? Especially a train that fucking is a sea train. Like, how sick is that? But yeah, Frankie, the American character being a weapons manufacturer is pretty on the nose.
It's spot on. He loves cola. He makes weapons.
Yeah, he's great. He's loud. He yells super. It's great. Here, this is the one. The
In
One
minutes, you
Piece.
say by watching the modified version of the anime One Piece by Arc. Thriller Bark, 541 minutes.
Fishman Island, 454 minutes. Punk Hazard, 530 minutes. I don't
Dress
know how,
Rosa.
Like, see, this is why I'm like confused because Punk Hazard is not like the pacing is not that bad on Punk Hazard. I don't think.
No, Punk Hazard in the anime doesn't drag.
Yeah, there is no like the pacing is really good on Punk Hazard. I don't know. It's the end of Punk Hazard. Is that why? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm not at the end yet. I don't know exactly where I'm at.
Sorry, I was about to ask questions. Like, do you mean this? But that's where you are. So
I'm at like a fucking Caesar with the jelly, and then he gives the jelly like a candy.
Yep.
And then I think there was like a devil fruit there that formed as well. I couldn't tell what was going on there, but
okay, got it.
That's precisely where I'm at.
Oh, they include recaps. Okay, yeah, because you're cutting anywhere between 3 to 7 minutes out of every episode.
Oh, I never. Okay, well, I never fucking watch recaps anyway. Yeah,
you watch the opening song, you skip the recap, and you just go into the episode.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, this is when people were like, "Bro, talking like he worked for the world government." I said, "Luffy's
people
a
were
freedom."
so mad at you, bro.
Yeah, they it's just like a lot of people were just like farming. They were just trying to be like, Hasan is wrong about this. It's like, no, I'm not. Everyone was yelling at this dude anyway. They were like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, you know what he meant. Anyway, Smiley dot what? Okay. Oh, Smiley dot is devil fruit reincarnated. Okay. But yeah, Dress Rosa, 1,500 minutes. 1,500 minutes.
I don't have a hard time.
Oh my
believing it,
god.
though. Punk Hazard, even that being a third of the time saved, I have a hard time believing. But Dressrosa, yeah, it's tough.
People are saying Cake Island is also bad for pacing.
Is the word no? Whole Cake Island is not worse than Dressrosa for pacing. I refuse.
That's what people were saying, but we'll see. Okay, so we're at Water 7. We talked about Water 7, and then Enies Lobby is also awesome. I think Water 7's better, but you know.
I like Water 7 a lot. All of the
I was thinking of something else. No, actually, Enies Lobby is great too, but Water 7 is still better. But
yeah, there's the Luffy versus Usopp's, like so much growth for Usopp.
Yeah,
in this arc, we get the Sea Train, we get the Frankie family, and all of that good stuff. Like Water 7 is great, love it. But Enies Lobby, so much good. Robin, Frankie burning the Pluton blueprints, great moment for him. And what I also love about that is it's Alabasta, everyone had their one-on-one fights, right? And they were kind of sequestered where they were. But Enies Lobby is such a crazy battle royale of people switching opponents so much. And it made it so interesting that, like, Sanji couldn't beat Khalifa, but here comes Nami, and now she gets what to me is Nami's best fight in the entire series. And that just kind of the chaos of all of that, while you still have the main drama and emotion of like Robin and Luffy and Usopp or Sogeking, really around all of the Lucci stuff towards the end. It's the best.
Yeah. So S tier?
S tier, easily. That is, Enies Lobby is my favorite arc in the entire series.
Wow. Okay. It's pretty good. Yeah. I mean, CP9 in and of itself, like, is pretty far. Look, see, I'm telling you, it's another Enies Lobby not being as good as Water 7, in my opinion, possibly clouded by like the captains in that sequence being way better than, like, the main captains being way better than the main villain itself. Like, whenever there's like a very cowardly, sniveling, like
Spandam.
Yeah,
but he doesn't matter.
You're right. It's still Rob Lucci, regardless. Yeah. But I mean, he's great. Usopp wasn't there. You're thinking of Soja King. Oh yeah, you're right.
You're right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Usopp was gone. It was Soja King.
From Sniper Island, far away. Exactly. Okay. Post Enies Lobby arc. We get into, what is this? Resting on the ordeals of Enies Lobby.
This is when Garp pulls up. And he's like,
yeah,
hey, I'm your grandfather. Dragon is your dad. Shanks is one of the Yonko. He's
Garp,
just like,
I love
lore dropping all over the place.
And
it's the return of Kobe and Helmeppo, which was great.
Yeah, I love Garp.
Yeah,
he's great. And also, which one is the one with the purple hair? The nerd that grows and has his glow up.
Kobe with the pink hair.
Yeah, Kobe with the pink hair, not purple, pink hair. Yeah, Kobe's glow up is great.
Yep.
Even though he has a bit of a glow down, and then a really powerful moment again at the end of a later arc in the war. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was post Enies Lobby is really important.
It
for
is
a lot of lore being dumped.
It's important. There's cool stuff. I would say it's A tier. I don't think it's S because again, while there's a lot of lore, that's also kind of all it is. Garp is great. Love
it is
and
very
Helmeppo
lore
coming
dense,
back.
but I love that. But then there's this is where Ace and Blackbeard fight too, right?
Yes, right?
I
yes,
think that's what it says on that. Yeah.
The Ace and Blackbeard battle.
Yeah. New worlds introduced, 4 emperors introduced, dragon. Like, that's so crazy to me that fucking 400 chapters later, you find out that, like, that was Luffy's dad. Like, that's insane.
Even though everyone knows this man's name, everyone knows what Luffy's last name is, and now the world is just now putting together the familial tree here. A little bit suspect, but that's fine. We move on.
That's wild. Well, I mean, he's a secret revolutionary. He's not around all the time, so that's why nobody's like thinking about it, talking about it,
But even at least the Garp and Luffy, like Luffy's first bounty has his last name, and no one was printing that and going, Garp, is there anything you want to tell us?
Yeah. Well, they know. They talk about it, right? Don't they? I mean, in the admirals, they bring it up
behind the scenes, maybe. But this is where we first learn. This is where the audience first learns it.
Yeah. Also, I'm running another top of the hour ad break chat. I forgot to run the 1 minute middle of the hour ad break, but
it's because we're just cruising.
Garp said fake news.
I'm gonna run and use your bathroom while you're ad breaking now too.
Okay. All right.
I'll find it.
It's first left after you get out. We learn about Garp's character. He's nice to his men and treats them well. The only Marine we've seen since Smoker and Bellamere. First of all, that's not true. We've seen a fuck ton of Marines, but they're all bad Marines. This is one of the only Marines that we've seen that is like a powerful character that is like kind of a good Marine. Smoker is more neutral, I would say. ACAB even means GARP. Yeah, I mean, dude, especially after fucking the end of the war. I mean, yeah, of course ACAB includes fucking GARP too. You see that. You see that at the end of the war. It's just like he's still a cop. ACAB means assigned cop at birth. And GARP 100% has the ACAB moment. GARP was known mostly as GARP the hero as well. That's why the world didn't care about Monkey D. I kind of want to just see what the ratings, Matt rates in the arcs. You see, even if it's without commentary, so no spoilers for you. No. Though Sengoku literally has to hold him down at one point, doesn't matter. Luffy was assigned cop, no shot. No, he wasn't. Luffy is in the ACAB world, assigned cop at birth. Luffy is the perfect representation of a person who was not. They tried to make him a cop, and he just became the anti-cop. You just can't fake it. It just shows. You know what I mean? I guess you're right. He is ACAB in that regard. I guess he was like assigned at birth to be a cop, and he was like, no. That's right. You are right. The cool thing is, even though Oda does the good cop thing, he also illustrates that people who want to do good are powerless within the system. You know, that's actually a really interesting take. You're absolutely correct. In most Western media, you see the exact opposite. You see that like there are some bad cops, but usually most cops are good. In One Piece, all cops are bad, except sometimes there are good cops that try to do good things, but even then, they are forced by the system and the powers that be to do cop shit at the end of it. And GARP, I think, perfectly demonstrates that.
There's a lot of them like that. GARP, Smoker.
Yeah. No, but like, I'm saying like it's a perfect juxtaposition to like cops in Western depictions in Western media, and even in anime in general. It's like a very classic trope that like all cops are technically good, but then there's some bad apples, right?
Yeah.
Unless you're watching like, I guess maybe like a Serpico or something. And basically One Piece is one of the few works that I have seen where like the structures it resemble the reality of policing, where they're all behaving in a way that they're supposed to because that's what the system has designed them to do, right? And even though there are some good cops like Smoker or GARP, especially GARP at the end of the war, where you see him still having to be a cop. So he's a cop if, even if there's internal conflict there, the structures force him to operate in the way that he is supposed to.
Right.
To do his job as a cop.
I appreciate the nuance of that in One Piece, but in the real world, I'm 13-12 till I die.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's like that too, though. It is the most ACAB fucking work. Really. Okay. So let's move on to
Thriller Bark.
This is actually my least favorite arc, except for the end.
What?
Except for the ending.
I have seen the anime and various points of it so many times. But you know, everyone has like, this is a movie I always watch at Christmas or whatever. I watch Thriller Bark every October. That's
Crazy. It is very Halloween coded.
Yes.
It's the most Halloween coded arc. I straight up, especially maybe it was because it was right after two of the best arcs in the fucking show.
Yeah.
Where I was like, what the fuck am I watching? Like, I cannot fucking stand Gecko Moria.
Moria's not a great villain. I find him to be an interesting character, and there's more stuff that you'll learn about him later, but he's not again, it goes back to like, who is at the top? Who is the head? He's not Crocodile. He's not Lucci. He's not the best villain.
He is. I like. Couple things make Thriller Bark palatable. The Luffy becoming the what is it? The world. What was it?
When he puts his shadow in Oars Jr.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry, not Oars. Oars Jr. is on Whitebeard's crew.
Yeah. That was kind of fun. Like that was definitely fun. I think like how. One thing I have to, by the way, admit here is that I think Oda, as a mangaka, does a really phenomenal job of showing scale that sometimes doesn't translate that well into the anime. Like I saw that when I compared Fishman Island to the manga versus the anime, where like I thought when you read the manga on Fishman Island, like you see how massive Noah's Ark truly is, whereas in the anime, it like there are certain points where like I feel like the scale doesn't translate as well.
Okay.
Which I thought was interesting. Maybe it's the same with Or. I didn't actually read the manga there, but yeah, the end of Thriller Bark is really good. Obviously, Zoro's moment, and also Kuma.
Yep.
Great.
Nothing happened. One of Zoro's best moments.
Yeah, fucking awesome.
But still, we get good stuff. We get Brook's introduction. Usopp versus Perona is one of my favorite fights in the entire series. And I love how well set up it is that, like, this is the only person who could go up against Perona.
Yeah. So what's your take on it?
I think Thriller Bark is an A. Also because Thriller Bark sets up, so like it's, when you look back, there's some spoilers to Thriller Bark stuff that I don't want to talk about because you're not there yet, but we'll get to it.
Okay.
But Usopp Perona, I love. Yes, Ryuma and all of the Zoro stuff is great. Brook's intro. And yeah, again, just crew shenanigans. One of the best One Piece memes comes out of this arc of Luffy pushing the zombie back into the ground. And so a lot of the early stuff with like the weak trio being off on their own and kind of being scared and stuff, and then you get the others, and there's all the pirate docking fun. Like that's
what frustrates me. That's what I'm saying. It's like
so you don't like fun.
No, I don't. I want one thing I'll say is like, and I've brought this up as a criticism. I don't know what you will think about this, but Oda is very good at like world building, and I love world building. That's why I loved Cyberpunk, even though it was like a bit of a massive flop on release. I'm a major sucker for like well-developed worlds. I love the political themes. I love good characters. Oda does that really well. But one thing that I think is not a strong suit, in my opinion, is his battle sequences. Oftentimes, it's like character v character, and that's great. But there's not a lot of tactics involved in his fight sequences. It's more so just like head on. Luffy goes head on. He overpowers his opponent, or like Zoro trains really hard and he overpowers his opponent, or like they overcome trials certainly, but it's never. It's never like a game of tactics. Like in JoJo, for example, everything is all the battle sequences, all the choreography is designed. Well, it's not even necessarily the choreography, but it's more so like it's like different powers working against one another perfectly. Though one of the few times that you see that is actually with Eneru versus Luffy, right? Him being rubber, Eneru being lightning. That's a perfect matchup.
Yeah,
and outside of that, you don't get to see a lot of that in many of the in many of the battles. I guess maybe like hockey changes that a little bit later on, but like I said,
hockey makes that worse.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think hockey starts to take a lot of the personality, the tactics, and things like that out of specific Devil Fruit.
Oh, because like, oh yeah, you're right. Because Logia, now you can like use hockey to hit characters. So that's interesting. I guess that you're right. That makes it different. But there's no setup for Straw Hats. Only throwing hands. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like it is definitely one thing. It's definitely one thing that I've like found myself missing. I guess it's fine. It's still a really good work on across the board. It's really compelling, really entertaining. But that is the one thing that I feel like you often see in some of the other animes that I don't really see in One Piece at all. Like I mentioned, the fact that there is no even in the Pirate War, when you think about it, like there are some some turns in the battle where you're like, oh fuck, I can't believe that this happened, right? Like there's some pivotal moments in the battle where it takes you from place to place, but there's no like Luffy's power set up perfectly as a counter to this power, or there's like a long buildup of like different kinds of actions that they plan that finally come together. It's more so hurdles are being thrown and they overcome it, oftentimes by brute forcing it.
I think that's one of the reasons that I like Usopp versus Perona so much, because I think you do get some of that. You have someone that is a perfectly suited counter to someone's abilities, and him fighting her isn't just about I'm stronger than you. It's he's psychologically torturing this goth girl to defeat her.
Yeah. That is, you're right about that. That's like, it works perfectly because of his weaknesses turning into strengths in that battle. You forget when Luffy perfectly dismantles Mihawk's abilities when he uses Buggy as his jet human shield? Where is that from?
In Marineford.
When
Mihawk's coming to attack Luffy and he uses Buggy as like a human shield.
Yeah, but that's a tiny portion of it. It's mostly like I said, like not a lot of planning going on, not a lot of like tactics. It's not like a game of chess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Usopp does that more, I would say. Usopp has a lot of setups because he's not very powerful overall in comparison to the other guys. So I think that he by nature has to like engage in these kinds of like tricks and technical fights.
Yeah.
Okay. So where were we? We did Thriller Bark. Wait, did I put it up there?
Yeah.
You put it at A tier. Okay, and then we get into the Summit War Saga. Sabaody Archipelago, another fucking awesome. I love this arc.
Sabaody is S tier for
it's
sure.
so good. Oh, another controversial take. At first, I loved Brook. I think Brook is the first time where I'm like, maybe there's too many characters.
Too many characters?
Yeah. Sometimes it feels like Brook is just kind of there, but especially later, like because not in like Thriller Bark, obviously, or not in like the earlier arcs when he comes in, but there are times when I'm like he's just kind of there. I wish like because his like samurai abilities are pretty sick, like the whole like the omae wo mashinderu style, like like he just walks past you and you're fucking sliced and diced, right? Like that stuff is cool, but I don't know. I feel like I don't see a lot of it. I don't see enough of it. So wrong. You literally just hate everything fun in One Piece.
I don't think that's a problem with Brook, though. I just think that's a problem of the utilization of different characters and different focus. Because especially once we get further into post-time skip, a lot more characters who aren't Straw Hats get a lot of focus. I mean, you're seeing it already in parts in Punk Hazard and stuff. And I think some Straw Hats get a lot more focus than others, which is a shame. Because, again, like we talked about in Skypiea, Robin has a one-on-one fight. It is over a decade until you see another one for her. And that's not that she doesn't have good things. And some people are pointing out, when you get to Whole Cake Island, Brook has at least 2 phenomenal moments in Whole Cake Island.
We'll see, yeah.
I think it's just certain characters start to take a back seat, especially post-time skip.
Brook also, maybe the other thing is like, because I love, like Sanji's the pervert, you know what I mean? And then Brook is like Brook's pervertry almost comes as like an afterthought where you're like, they just kind of added that in. Like, why are there 2 perverts in the crew? You know what I mean? Like, and Brook is only a pervert from the perspective of like wanting to see the panties. Like that's what he wants to see. Anyway, 2, you mean 3? What, Frankie 2? I mean,
wait, let's not talk spoilers because
I don't know if it's a spoiler or not.
Hasan's not there, but let me think on what the third, because there are 2 very clear ones to me in my head. I'll have to think about what the third one is.
What do you like? Third pervert in the crew? What do you mean?
Oh, I thought they were saying Brook moments.
Oh, no, they were saying there's 3 perverts in the crew. They're saying Frankie's a pervert, even though Frankie gets Oh my God.
Frankie is nowhere near on the level of Sanji.
No,
and Brook,
he's
though.
not. Like, Frankie is not a pervert. Luffy is ace. Luffy is ace aromantic. What was I gonna say? Frankie's the exhibitionist? Not really. I feel like, yeah, Frank got cock and ball torture from Nico Robin.
Yeah, he didn't do that himself.
Yeah, and he didn't even like it, which is like, what are you doing? Like, that's the greatest thing that could have ever happened, and you don't even enjoy it. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Seriously, he doesn't know how lucky he is.
Yeah, multiple arm cock and ball torture. That's crazy.
From Nico Robin? Come on.
Yeah, that's nuts. Best girl.
Sabati is great. Sabati is S tier. The introduction of the worst generation. Also, it's a fun world. It's a great place.
Yeah.
We get Rayleigh, we get the worst generation, and we get Kuma fucking
celestial
annihilated.
dragons.
Yeah, we get the punch of the celestial dragon in the auction house. And we get
so
one of the most
sick.
devastating moments of the entire series of the split up of the crew. Because at that point in time, that shit was horrifying.
Yeah.
There is nothing, any of them, they were all there. And he is just picking them off one by one. And it was horrifying to watch.
Yeah. It's great. And you're confused. You're like, what the fuck's going on? You don't even fully understand what like Kuma's powers are at that point. So you're like, what just happened? It's so sick.
And yes, we get the introduction of the best character in the entire series.
Yeah.
Which is
God,
which is also nuts because they, at least Kid, you're like, oh, okay, magnetism, got it. Law, they do not explain his power. This dude is just taking people's heads off and replacing them with cannonballs.
Yeah.
And no explanation is given whatsoever.
Yeah. He's so sick.
He's the best.
I love Trafalgar Law. He is so fucking sick. He's sick. Dude, I haven't even seen that much of Doflamingo, and he's also awesome too. Like, I'm very stoked to see more of him now because they introduce him a little bit more in the arc that I'm on, where he's like a big player, and I love that.
Doflamingo is the greatest villain in all of One Piece.
I'm excited about that,
and I stand by that.
I'm very, very excited about that. That's crazy because there's a lot of good fucking villains in One Piece.
Yes, there are.
Okay, so that's pretty fire. Law, best non-Straw Hat member,
easily.
I think Ace, man, he's so cool.
He's like, I like Ace. I do. But
I would watch a Cowboy Bebop style Ace bounty hunting. Like, he's not even a fucking bounty hunter, but like, I would watch that.
Sure,
as a standalone product. He just gives me Spike Spiegel vibes.
Yeah,
a little bit. Maybe not as much, but I don't know. He's so sick.
Someone said, "What about Carrot?" We'll talk about that later. Hasan's not there yet.
Yeah, I don't know.
Greatest character Hasan has not yet met. Carrot.
Ace has a spin-off novel? Wait, really?
There is, yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay. Like, the worst part about Ace is, like, that there's not more of it.
But that's why I don't understand. Again, I think he's a cool character, but the, like, extreme Ace stands, I don't get it.
Wow, you're like, L, you're dead.
I don't get it. Yeah, I don't get it. And look, it's a powerful moment. It's really sad. And he's cool when we see him. But I don't think there's enough of him to justify being
I agree.
such a popular character for this long.
Because he's so, I don't know, because he's so sick. Like, he is so fucking cool. And then, like, that, I don't know. He's just sick. I don't know how to explain it. He's so powerful. He's so cool. I wish he didn't die. Like, that's my point.
He's not that
Ace.
powerful. Ace takes L's most of the time we see him.
Okay, fair. But he's going up against some of the fucking best of the best. Like, that's why he's taking the L's.
It is what it is.
I don't know. Yeah, Ace versus Blackbeard, like,
Ace takes an L.
Fair, but still. But that's Blackbeard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, all right, let's move on. Sabo de Archipelago, you said S tier, 100% agree. Amazon Lily is awesome. You don't like it?
Amazon Lily is cool.
No. It's not one of the best. It's not one of the best arcs at all.
No.
But it is awesome specifically because there you get to see Oda's drawing capabilities of drawing women. People say Oda only draws one type of female. Excuse me. There are buxom women of all sizes. in
we
Amazon.
do see the most variety in female design.
Yes,
in
they're
Amazon
all
Lily for sure.
Oda only knows how to draw two types of women: either like the sexiest, like super sexy, very buxom, like impossibly skinny, or the ugliest old lady you've ever seen that like every character is literally having a hard time looking at.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and I like Hancock a lot.
Yeah, she's great.
But the arc itself, it might be my least favorite like mini setup arc.
His penis stretch is proven true.
That
very
that
important.
is true. It is.
Very important
That is
part.
canon. I'm sorry. I think I have to put Amazon Lily at a C.
Wow.
I
Okay.
think
Finally,
that's
we got
my
a C
first
tier.
C.
Okay. I think it's fair. I just like I like the ladies in Amazon Lily. I like that there's like a all female island.
Yeah.
Like I like that concept, and I love Boa Hancock.
I like Hancock a lot too, and I think she just gets better the more that we see her. I think she's much better moving into Impel Down and Marineford, and honestly, her showing up and being involved. She's one of my favorite parts about the Stampede movie. But this is just kind of it's fine.
Now we're in Impel Down.
S tier, easy.
Impel Down S tier. Okay, so this is where I also again kind of
Buggy
disagree with
slander
you.
comes back into play.
I can't stand Buggy. I can't.
I will also say that how we were talking about how we both love bounty hunter stories. I am a fucking sucker for villains turned allies.
So Bon Clay.
I love that. So the fact that he's just gathering people he's been beating down the entire series for various reasons, and we get Jimbei and Ivankov. Impel Down is top tier.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? You're right. Prison Break stories are great as well in general. That's like a wonderful trope. Yeah, you get introduced to some really fucking key characters here, from Jimbei and Ivankov to Bon Clay's greatest moment.
Yep.
Very emotional, very powerful moment. The prison is based on Nazi camps. Yeah, 100%. I mean, even their gear looks like Nazi shit.
And isn't there salute like vaguely Nazi, like Hannibal? Because I think they do it in the opening.
Yeah, unlike JoJo, Oda did not portray Nazis in a positive way, ever.
Yeah, but interesting to one of the things that we've kept bringing up. Magellan is not an interesting villain to me, but it doesn't affect my opinion of the arc.
That's what I was gonna say. That's another one of those moments where it's like, he's like not the best.
Yeah.
He's not the best. It's just like he's just kind of there. I mean, he ends up having a really important impact on Luffy, obviously, because his powers do actually work really. His powers work really well against Luffy's, obviously. I don't know why I love what are those called? Like the babushka dolls or matryoshka dolls or whatever. Like the concept of like a world within a world where you go into the prison and then there's a secret separate part of the prison that no one goes to, where everyone's fucking partying and you're like, what the fuck's going on? That just Ivankov runs on her own. Like, it's sick.
It's such a fun place. And it also just from a world building perspective, it makes sense. Like, because so many powerful people in this world have devil fruits, build your maximum security prison underwater.
Yeah. It's awesome. Yeah, it's great. Magellan spends more than half the arc taking a shit. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
I'm sorry, that gag didn't work for me.
Yeah.
I like a lot of the sillier stuff in One Piece, but Magellan having to be carried around and on like this essentially fancy porta potty all the time because he's always shitting didn't do it for me.
Yeah, poop humor, which I think is funny usually, but in this setting, it was not for me either.
Yeah.
Okay, Impel Down is where is it?
You already put it there.
Oh, I did. Okay.
Yeah. Look at all those S tiers. Look at how good One Piece is, guys.
Yeah. Okay, and then we get to Marineford.
I mean, it's what do we even have to say about it? It's such an easy S tier.
Yeah, Marineford is iconic.
It's the most important arc of the entire series. So many. The only flaw, and I understand why this decision was made, and I do agree with it, but the only flaw, if I'm digging for one in Marineford, is that the Straw Hats aren't there.
Yeah, you're
That's
right.
it. It's the most pivotal arc of the entire series, and Luffy is the only one that's. And again, I'm just digging for a flaw to this arc.
And fucking Akainu. God.
Yeah.
So good. Like, yeah, no, it's got, I mean, that's it. They have the greatest fucking villains all get together, the greatest heroes all get together, except for the Straw Hat crew. And it's awesome. It's great. It's top of the S tier.
And the thing that that's me digging for a flaw. And what I'm expecting is when we get to the end of the world government arc, whether that's the second to the last arc of the series or the final one, it depends on what you think. Is Blackbeard or is the world government the main villain? I'm hoping for Marineford with the Straw Hats there. Like we'll get.
Oh, you're
to
saying
that
the end of it,
at the end of the series.
Yeah.
We'll get that.
Yeah, and Shanks coming back. I mean, he's fucking so cool.
Shanks?
Yeah,
he's cool.
Damn, you're a Shanks hater.
He's cool. I'm not a Shanks
That's
hater.
crazy.
But I'm excited to finally see something instead of just everyone telling us how great he is.
I believe it. He just has like he has a overwhelming presence, but he's very calm, cool, and collected.
He's cool. I'm not a Shanks hater. I need to see something. I need to see something.
Shanks is evil and lost his arm to an L monster. To be fair, him losing his arm to a Sea King is like kind of like, how are you the best? And you just like, how are you one of the best and you lost your arm like that? Is there a spoiler there or something in the future that we learn about? But
no.
Okay, because I do feel like that doesn't make sense a little bit. Like, you're Shanks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got real quiet. It's like
People are calling me. I don't know anything.
You got so quiet. What the fuck? Okay. All right.
Post-war arc. Yeah, again, like this is I like it because I like the check-ins with all of the other Straw Hats. I like the setup for their time jump arcs. Him starting to train with Rayleigh, all of this stuff. Again, Law, the GOAT, coming in. Luffy would have died if it wasn't for Law. He extracts that man out of the war. Law's the most important character in the series. Jinbei giving him the blood transfusion, like all of that stuff. It's an A. I think there's a lot.
I disagree with you on this.
What do you think it is? You think it's S?
I think no.
Oh.
I think in the post-war arc, there are S tier stories that don't fully develop. And then there are fucking like C tier stories that they kind of focus on or not. Like Chopper's standalone story sucks.
It's probably the worst setup one.
It's so bad. I don't like it. I don't even fully understand like what kind of like how important it is for his development of his like of his what is the thing that he eats?
The
like,
rumble balls?
Yeah, like it doesn't even like factor that in at all. He just like kind of has that power and you get to find that out later.
It feels like the takeaway from that is like you have this island where cavemen are warring with animals. It's about Chopper's internal conflict. He is an animal and he is a human. And he lands on an island where those two things are at conflict with each other. And so it's about him finding that middle ground within himself and healing. And again, that's me pulling because I also agree that's my least favorite of the Straw Hat time skip stories.
I would say Brooke's story could have been better flushed out, in my opinion. It's like really cool, and they kind of tell you after what he did, and you're like, what the fuck? That's sick. With like the whole, they become his managers and becomes like super famous. But the peak, I thought, and maybe it's because I'm biased, but I think you're biased as well. Nico Robin's story is insane.
Yep.
Like that is a standalone story. The fact that it's not like it's not covered more is a crime, in my opinion. Like it's just kind of there, and you're like, what the fuck? I want to know more. Like I want to know so much more about what happened and what could happen on the bridge. Like was it Tequila Wolf?
Tequila Wolf.
Yeah.
What is going on with Tequila Wolf? What all does she learn?
It's like a never-ending bridge / concentration camp full of like prisoners. Like, it's It literally isn't an arc in the manga. Wait, really? What do you mean? Like
how deep the anime does go a little bit deeper into, and it still isn't much, but does go deeper into the Straw Hat stories.
Oh, okay. It's just cover stories. Oh, okay. I don't know. I guess like it would have been sick. Like Tequila Wolf, I wanted to see more of that.
It's Robin and Zoro's. Zoro is the best. Zoro getting sent to Mihawk. You find out that Perona is there.
But I want to see more of that as well.
I know, me too.
I wanted to see more of like him fighting the monkeys. You know what I mean? Like there was
Humandrils?
Yeah, there was so much there that like I wanted to explore, and I felt like I felt like it just like was left. And then Sanji one's like all right. It's not like that good. You know what I mean? It's just
Usopp's is kind of whatever. Nami's
Usopp's I didn't like that much either.
Nami's could have been fun. I wanted to see more. It's like her going to this kind of like magical / scientific weather institute. Like I want to explore that.
Yeah, they just kind of like just give that to you. They just kind of feed it to you, and it's like a very like on the nose.
Yeah.
But then we finally get to Fishman Island Saga, the return to the Sabaody arc. Now, this is where things get tricky for me. This is where I like started going, what the fuck is going on? Why is this so slow? Return to Sabaody was fine.
It's fine.
It's good. There are, in my opinion, there are parts where, like, parts that I really liked. Fat Luffy, like, in the crew, fucking
the
awesome.
fake Straw Hats is really funny. See,
Yeah.
that's fun. You liked that one?
That was fun. That was actually really good.
Yeah.
That I love that. That was a fun arc. That was really good. I still was annoyed because I was like, come on, Luffy, do something. Like the entire time I was like, come on, beat their ass. What the fuck are you doing?
But he does the tiny thing of him like dodging the pacifista lasers and just putting one in the ground. Like the little bit of action we get there is fun. It was fun to see everybody come back because you're just waiting. You're like, who's going to show up next? What do they look like now?
Yeah.
That kind of hype was really fun.
Yeah.
I'd give it a B.
Okay. That's fair.
And I think it would be higher, except it falls in the middle of something that we are now going to talk about. Fishman Island is the worst arc in the entire series. I think this is the only tier I will give an F.
That's a really interesting take, and I agree with you. I am not even... You know why Fishman Island, in my opinion, is like not a good arc? Because it had the capacity to be the best arc.
Yes.
And I felt so underwhelmed by the end of it. Well, not even because it's like so long, but I felt like, first of all, I hated Hody Jones. I did not like his motivations
Wasted
at all.
potential. I think there's something to an extremist acolyte of Arlong.
Yeah.
That could have been really and galvanizing the youth to rise up. There's a very interesting story there.
Yes.
It just didn't play out.
I felt like it was such a insanely well developed buildup for not a very good climax at the end of it. There are characters that I obviously do not appreciate, like
Vanderdecken.
Vanderdecken I hated.
Yep.
I mean, him like being a pedophile, like that kind of stuff is like whatever, you know what I mean? Like he's obviously a bad guy. But he was like kind of weak. Hody and his motivations genuinely made me kind of sad because I thought like there was so much there, just like you said. It could have been so good. And when he's like, oh, he's just doing this because he's mad. Like, what? Like he's doing it for no reason. No one has harmed him. No one has wronged him. Like, no, like this could have been so perfect.
Yep.
Maybe I missed something. I don't know, but it felt like instead of them being like, you know, steroid abusing extremists with no clear purpose.
Yep.
It was kind of sad, but there were so many really awesome parts of Fishman Island. Lore dumps.
A lot of lore.
Lore dumps on their own is a standalone product that is in and of itself incredible.
Yeah.
Like if I were to cut it and go Fisher Tiger in and of itself, such a solid character. The fact that he refused the blood transfusion, like these are all
flashback is worth it.
Yeah, these are all incredible flashbacks. They carry the arc in and of itself. Every time there was a lore up, I'm like, oh, thank God, like this is really good. and then it would go back, to like, just so much density, so much filler, especially on the anime side.
One of my other issues with it is I don't think it did enough to platform the growth and changes in the Straw Hats in the first major arc after a time jump.
You expect to reveal all of the new powers and like what they've changed personally, but it doesn't. They show you some of the powers. They show you They show you like the cool new toys and stuff that they got, but
a bit. Yeah, okay, someone said the Nami Jinbei scene is very good. I totally agree with that. That conversation, what is it, like Sanji, Nami, Jinbei, that conversation is very good. There are good points to Fishman. And honestly, the reason I'm putting it in F, if I gave it an honest opinion, it's probably to me a D, but I'm putting it in F just to emphasize this is my least favorite arc in the entire series.
Yeah, only because of like what I agree with you. Only because like I think it could have been the best arc, because like so much is leading up to this moment. So much is leading up to this moment, and it just like has a very soft landing. Fishman Island did not feel like the entrance to the new world. That there isn't like a big difference either. There isn't a big power difference at all from like. The same feeling that I had going from, East Blue to like the New World, I did not feel from the New World to Beyond the Red Line. Or no, that is the New World. Sorry, the Grand Line, East Blue to the Grand Line was a big jump where you're like, whoa, this is crazy. This is a whole new world. Like it's wild, but you don't see that from the Grand Line to the New World.
Especially because so much of Hodie's power just came from the energy steroids.
Yeah, Hodie. Oh, God, you're so, we are definitely aligned on that. Like I even brought it up. I even talked about it before when I was doing my own like analysis over it, where it's Hodie should have been more powerful, I think, and beyond the steroids, and Hodie should have had better motivations. Mm-hmm. Like there are twists and turns when you find out that he's the one who's like carried out the assassination. Yep, like that stuff is cool. But no matter what, like, if you are a villain that's that motivated in an arc that is that politically driven, right, there needs to be some underlying ideology there beyond, like, oh, I just thought, like, these guys, we were being bullied, and I thought it was cool to be like, fuck the humans.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
just a lot of wasted potential to me.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing about it. Because like we said, there are good moments in it. Fisher Tiger flashback is incredible. It's just not it. Fishman Island.
Hodie was a weak ass Arlong wannabe.
I mean, like literally, that's what his character was.
I did not like that, especially because like everyone hyped it up. Everyone hyped it up as like because it's the most like openly political, so a lot of normies that watch it are like, well, you're gonna love this arc because it's like so political. And I watched it and I thought like that it was a missed opportunity. There was wasted potential. You clearly didn't understand the arc, lol. Why? What did I miss on it? Maybe I did, I don't know. That damn boat was falling for 30 episodes. Yeah, it was also very dense too. Like it was so long. Yeah. This can't be F tier.
Still, you've heard us talk about it multiple times. Pre-time skip Robin over post-time skip Robin, all day long.
Yeah, I feel like even her jokes changed a little bit. She's like, she makes more jokes now. Maybe she's more comfortable with the crew.
That's something that I do like about her, though, which is also one of my favorite things about Law, is with characters that are very smart, very serious. When you see the effect that more time with the Straw Hats has on them, I like that. I like that we get into a little bit of Robin's psyche and understanding that, like, she likes cute things. And that's a new angle that we're seeing on her due to her time.
When she keeps saying to Chopper to not talk when Frankie's in the Chopper body.
Exactly.
It's like, don't talk.
Stuff like that I love. And you'll see it a lot more. You'll see it with Law as you continue to. But I love the Straw Hat effect. And that is a thing with Robin's development post-time skip that I do actually really like.
Queen Otohime's backstory was so powerful. There was some of the best backstory, how it ties the main story and all the arcs. The backstories tie directly in the dynamics of the arc. Queen Otohime's backstory was good. I mean,
it was fine.
I'm gonna be honest, it's a bit libbed up. That's what it is. It is. It's like very like good people are trying to do good things and bad people are trying to do bad things. And like I think in a lot of One Piece you see something way more complex than that. And given that it was like given that this was the most like political arc, I expected more, I think. Also, the camouflage guy was not fire. You are so wrong about that, I think.
We didn't even talk about it, though. And the Sanji bit. The whole Sanji blood loss bit. Like, that's enough to make it F tier on its own.
Yeah, notice how either of you brought up Hoodie's crew. Yeah, because they were forgettable in my opinion.
That's kind of my point, that like it kind of goes along with not really getting to see enough of a showcase and an emphasis on the Straw Hats was tied to there was nobody for them.
Another missed
Hoodie's
opportunity.
crew sucks.
Another missed opportunity. The dude, the octopus dude, not the one who like dries you out, but the octopus dude that is drunk.
The drunk guy. Yeah. What's his name?
I thought he was gonna be a fucking sick character, and he had the makings. He had the workings of a sick character, and yet he just like comes in. He does the steroids and then just gets owned immediately.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, what the fuck? Like, this should have been like, it went in so many different directions. Like, there was a lot of lore dump. It was very dense. It was very big. It was very long. And then like the fight sequences were like almost rushed, I think.
Yeah.
And then pacing on the fight sequences on aspects that were slow were really slow. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it was the worst of both sides, I think. Anyway, so that's how the fuck did Queen Otohime give birth to Weepy Hoshi? Yeah, I know that like doesn't make a lot of sense, but I guess they're fish, so they come out like caviar and then they grow. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's as far as we can go. This is the last arc you have completed.
Yeah, I know, and right? I gotta end it here anyway. We just burned through.
We did it.
But
we did it.
This was great.
You guys heard it here first. This is the definitive.
No,
One Piece.
People are gonna yell at you for Fishman Island 100%.
I don't know if they are. And again, like I said, is it an F? No. I think it's probably more of a D.
Yeah, I'll put it on D
best.
tier.
Fine. I was trying to emphasize that it is my least favorite, but we can put it in D.
Okay.
But there you go. That's art.
Yeah. Punk Hazard so far has been really good, but I haven't finished it yet. So
yeah, I'm glad you're digging it. It's fun.
5 out of 6 arcs. There are all S. I mean, yeah, it's a great show.
Wait, someone said rapid fire the other ones. Okay, Punk Hazard is an A. Dressrosa is an S. Yeah, I said it, even though there are issues. Dressrosa is an S tier arc. Zoe is an A. Whole Cake Island is an A. Oh, sorry, no, Whole Cake Island is an S. What am I doing? Whole Cake Island is an S. Reverie is an S. Wano is a B.
No, really?
Wano
You
Country
just said I
is
love
a
Wano.
B.
I would love Wano.
I think there are a lot of things that you are going to find interesting about it. Wano is a B.
Damn. Okay, well, you can't even. I don't want to.
No. I'll get back to you
gonna
next
leave
year when you catch
just
up.
Leave it at that. He's leaving it at that.
Wano is a B.
But yeah, it's great. What are some of your other favorite animes before we leave? We can also have you back later to talk about this stuff.
I can come back anytime. Outside of striking, I'm incredibly free.
Yeah. True.
I can. We can have a bigger anime conversation another time.
Okay. We'll save it up. We'll save it for next time.
We can do that.
Yeah.
Thanks for wanting me to come back, chat.
Yeah, no, this was great. I mean, a lot of people get frustrated because not everyone in my community likes anime, or not everyone in my community, especially even if they like anime, like One Piece. But I wanted to do that.
No, I appreciate you for having me on, buddy.
Yeah, no, this was great. This was wonderful. What are your thoughts about Monsters anime adaptation? I don't know what that is.
I'm excited to see it. It's a one shot that Oda did very early in his career that is loosely canon with One Piece.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That is getting an an anime adaptation. I think it'll come out before the end of this year, right? Oh, wow. But yeah, excited for that. Excited for that.
Hell yeah. Baki character too. Do you like Baki?
Baki's cool.
I love Baki.
Baki's cool.
I love.
It's not one of my favorites, but I think it's beautifully animated.
Yeah, it's so sick. I love Baki. I've been watching all the Watanabe works again.
Oh, yeah.
I rewatched Cowboy Bebop for like the 100th time. It was fucking awesome. Now I'm going through Samurai Champloo and like
One of the
and then
greatest
Space
soundtracks
Dandy.
ever.
Yeah.
Space Dandy. Okay, where are you in Space? How much Space Dandy?
Oh
have
no,
you seen?
I've watched all Space
Oh, you
Dandy.
have? And you like
I'm just
it?
like rewatching. Yeah, I loved it.
Because I feel like that's his. You know, for now that I've learned this about you, that you hate fun. I feel like Space Dandy is the most fun of his works.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess like One Piece, I like the not fun parts more. Well, Space Dandy's also, it's kind of like One Punch Man in a way that I feel like it addresses a lot of tropes. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I like that because it's like, it's supposed to be self-referential. It's supposed to be like referencing other works and being silly.
Bless you. Bless you.
Leftist is on. Yeah, leftist is no fun. Thank you.
Trigun is goated.
Oh yeah. Did you watch the rework? Like the new Trigun?
I liked it.
I liked it too.
I liked it. It was a really cool retelling of that. I know some people didn't like the animation style. I thought it was cool.
I actually, as much as I despise like 3D animation, due to what happened to Berserk, which is a crime in and of itself, and people should be punished for it. I thought that Trigun, like new Trigun, the 3D is not as offensive. Yeah, somehow, like it's not that bad. It's actually pretty good.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah. What about Redline? I haven't seen Redline.
Have you seen? Because this is very much.
I haven't seen any of the One Piece movies.
Have you seen Outlaw Star?
Outlaw Star? No, I have not. Isn't that the first ever anime or something?
No, it's one from the. I think it was in '98. It was an old school one. It was on Toonami back in the day, but it's another like space, guns, crime, little bit of magic. Yeah, 98. Got it. This series is incredible.
Okay,
this is one of the most underrated series.
I might not like it
all time
because I immediately animation style wise, like I hate the big eyes.
Okay,
it's always like it's hard. Like Yu Yu Hakusho is in a different league, obviously, so like that's fine. But usually, like old school anime, like the really large eyed anime, it like I don't know. I've never liked Inuyasha.
Oh God, I love Inuyasha.
Yeah, a lot of people love Inuyasha. I don't like the art style, like old anime art style.
So that like the big eyed kind of 80s into 90s style is not for you.
Yeah, okay. I mean I can overlook it like Code Geass.
Come on, look at this photo. It's on the same level as a Cowboy Bebop and a Firefly. Like yes, these are all spiritual series together. If you can try to get over the large eye aesthetic, I do think you would dig it.
I did love Akira, yes, but I'm not saying I never watch like old art, old anime. I'm just saying that it's just some of it I don't really like that much.
Yeah.
Before you end, just tell us your opinions on the Chimera Ant arc. Oh yeah, here, that's the last question.
Hunter x Hunter is mid.
What?
Hunter x Hunter is mid.
Yo, that's crazy. I disagree with that.
I go on record saying that all the time.
His opinion.
That's why Hunter x Hunter is mid.
That's his opinion. That's crazy.
Hunter x Hunter is mid. If you like Hunter x Hunter, educate yourself first and then go watch Yu Yu Hakusho because it's way better.
Yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho is sick. I mean, Yu Yu Hakusho is the OG.
Yes.
Damn, you said Hunter x Hunter is mid? My only take about Hunter x Hunter is that the Chimera Ant arc is entirely too long. Like, it's crazy. Everybody hails it as like the best fucking arc of all time.
They do.
And it's like, no, man, it is way too fucking long. It's so goddamn long. It's just like unacceptably long.
I might give Hunter x Hunter another try, but that's my anime.
Hunter x Hunter peaks at York New Arc. York New Arc is my favorite. Hunter x Hunter.
Not for me.
Dog, reading the Hunter x Hunter manga is so fucking frustrating for a lot more reasons than the hiatuses. Yeah, I mean, also they have like straight up pedophile, like Hunter x Hunter, one of the main characters, and they made him cool, which is like the worst part. It's like, why? What are you doing? Straight up,
Can't do it.
like
Can't do it.
It's insane. It's insane that like you have just an out and about, open pedophile on the show.
Someone said it. Someone gift this man all of the subs. Yu Hakusho's Dark Tournament arc is better than Hunter x Hunter's Chimera Ant arc.
Do you like JoJo?
Yeah.
Love JoJo.
JoJo's sick. Love JoJo.
Yeah.
I need to watch the 99. Yeah, I've heard. Like, look, I need to figure out what I'm going to do. I need to, because this is, I'm making this my brand. Hunter x Hunter is mid.
Okay. What about Vinland Saga?
Vinland Saga's great.
Incredible. Yeah.
Vinland
I loved
Saga's
it.
great.
I love Vinland Saga. Your guests need to stop watching Hunter x Hunter and start watching Blue's Clues. What the fuck? Okay. Well, there it is. We'll have you back on again because I have to run. I'm
Anytime,
late
bro.
to some. But thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having
Matt
me on.
Owens,
Thanks
everybody.
for having me chat. Thank you very much.
And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay. Here's the one final snapshot of this man's crimes.
My crimes.
These crimes. I think overall it's a pretty solid list. I'm just saying the Fishman Island, people are gonna get fucking mad at that. I think.
That's fine. People get mad at the truth sometimes.
Well, the Hunter x Hunter thing is you actually took it to a totally different level with the Hunter x Hunter take.
That's fine too.